This is my live discussion for Dragon Ball Daima Episode 1. I have changed my settings on my computer. I have just done internet speed test that shows everything is 1 gigabyte up and down. So I hope to God that this will be working correctly. And you guys will be able to see it. Sorry for all the weird notifications along the way. Hopefully it won't be buffering and being too weird. I don't know why. I have fiber optic internet, so it should be fine. I'll even show you right now how weird this is. So I just did a speed test. 946 up. Actually, upload is slightly higher. So I don't know. I just hope it's fine. So in the future, you might be very confused by whatever is happening. But yeah. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, I did a I did a review over on my my channel earlier today for episode 1 Dragon Ball Daima. Sorry if it's weird and laggy. I don't know if it'll be that way on the follow-up, but I'm going to do a live discussion. I'm going to respond to you guys along the way. I'll do my best to kind of give my thoughts. I've been thinking about the episode since it aired. There are certain things that I have been thinking of. So, yeah, hopefully, I uninstalled the new virus software that they installed on my computer. So I think that's really it. I've had a lot of weird issues on my computer since I installed it. I also did a deep scan the other day, and I deleted some things. So, hopefully I fixed everything. I had to reinstall Chrome. I had to reinstall Epic Games Launcher. It was weird. So I'm also just going to exit out of the stream on my Google Chrome for now. And I'm going to turn off the preview, and I'll just look at it on my phone. And I think we should be good to go in that regard. So I'll be looking at the chat. I have it on a monitor right now. But I'll be monitoring everything on my phone. Worst comes to worst, I don't know if they'll actually let me change devices in the middle of a stream, but this is kind of an experiment in a sense. But yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. Who's in the stream right now? Joe Mamba, kind of funny name. Chrono, that's a cool name. Kind of like Kronos, the god of time from Greek mythology. Anime Wave looks great now. Oh, thank you. No. Do you think Mal Bosk? Do you think Americans will one day stop watching the dub version? I don't know. I think inherently it's kind of a part of human nature that we often will like to watch things in our own language. We like to speak to people who speak our native language. Allow me to tell you something in my native language, Goku. That's like an amazing dub line, for instance, from Frieza. Frisbee. Sorry if I'm doing weird stuff with my mouth right now. I just got done eating some microwave burritos. I hadn't had them since I was since I was a younger man. So I had those 60-cent burritos I got at the store the other day, some of that good struggle food. Just went for a nice walk. Try and get a breather. Try and, be out there and get a little bit of exercise in. I had a lot of coffee today, to be honest. So that's a thing too. I went I don't really do it very often anymore, but I wanted to get out of the house. I went to Starbucks, and I was hanging out in the lounge. I got a coffee. They didn't have any cold brew. For some weird reason, they keep running out of either coffee or cold brew at my local one. So I was drinking I drank a venti of coffee, and I was so jittery. I don't know why. It's weird, because at my house, I can pour a bunch of cold brew into a cup, and I'll drink it. And I won't even be jittery after the first cup. But at Starbucks, I'm just I feel like I'm going to turn into the Flash like Fry did in that episode of Futurama where he drank 100 cups of coffee in one episode. Oh, thank you so much, AP. You've always been here supporting my channel, and you're a member. And congrats on the 150,000 subscribers. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, it's something that it took some time for me to achieve it, obviously, but it's more than I ever expected or aimed for on my channel. I was aiming for my big all-time goal would be 150,000 subscribers. Sorry, was 100,000 subscribers. I hit my goal. I matched my expectation. No, it was 100,000 subscribers. I hit 150. So hey, that's awesome. 1.5 times that. That's I'll take it. But all right, let's see. Malbosk, you said, I'm asking about the dub because I'm from Algeria and it's in North Africa. And from what I understand, worldwide, in every community, they watch the sub only. In the USA, they keep watching the dub even if it's not accurate. I mean, you're preaching the choir, man. That's one of the things. Like, I'm an American, but I'll admit it. First and foremost, in America, Americans, they like to watch things in English. And this is America. We speak English here, even though English obviously didn't originate in America. Ours is quite different from English, though. Sixes and sevens and whatever they said in Austin Powers. So, yeah. How's it going? Human Blaze the Cat. It's kind of a cool name. So I don't know. I don't know why in America they just have to watch things in English. Like, every time I talk to people about foreign content, like in my own life or on YouTube, like I'm always like, hey guys, just watch stuff in its original language because that's the way it was intended to be seen. Subtitles really aren't that difficult to learn how to read. Like I have dyslexia, so the fact that I watch everything subtitled, including English content, like you get used to it. It becomes second nature. Just instantly read it in the fraction of a second. You don't miss anything by doing it. I was like writing down notes earlier when I was watching Daima on my phone. So I had to rewind a couple times. Well, more than a couple. But that's the only thing. Like most people aren't like weirdos like me who make videos on the internet. So they wouldn't be like writing all these notes like I did. As you can see right here, like here's some of my notes from today. Supreme Demon King Goma, stuff like that. So as I was watching it, I wrote a bunch of notes down on my phone. I write books on my phone, like sometimes, like it's just more convenient for me to write things on my phone. So with Daima, I will eventually be going to spoilers, but while everybody's filing in, I want to give everybody a chance to have a chance to like understand that, whatever. So in terms of Daima, I'm curious to hear what you guys had to say. I don't know if you've seen my review yet. I would definitely check it out. I went super in depth into it. If you've seen the episode, I would recommend that. Overall, I really enjoyed this first episode. I thought it was a great first episode, and I think it's one of the best first episodes in the entire franchise. Compared to, like, maybe I could do a video about this. Does Daima have the best first episode? I mean, it depends. Like, for Dragon Ball Z, I would say that that's probably my favorite first episode, but it depends because in Dragon Ball Z, there was a lot of filler mixed in. So like we had Gohan with the tiger and then, Goku finds him on top of the waterfall and there's a little hint of his power. And then, he goes to Roshi's island. I don't remember how early in that episode. It's been a while since I watched the first episode of the original anime. I usually read the manga, which has like perfect pacing for that, and watch Kai for like refreshers. But for the original Dragon Ball, like that's a fun introduction. It's very different from the rest of the franchise. So yeah, like the GT first episode, that one is one of the most polarizing episodes in the franchise because, even in Japan, like there was a big ratings fall off after that. Like people hated that Goku got turned into a kid for the most part around the world, as far as I know. So, it was a regression. In this episode, everyone turns into a kid. So as you could see in the trailer, that's not like a real spoiler unless you avoid the trailer. Sorry about that. But, so again, at the same time, it's also a matter of like, same in that surface level, but I mean, there's a lot of similarities between GT and Daima thus far. Like, I'm not going to say that it's completely different, but the handling and the execution is going to really be the number one thing in that regard, because it's not just Goku becomes a kid, it's every single hero and adjacent character that becomes a kid. Everyone who was involved in the fight against Boo and their friends and family is like regressed in age. So it depends on how they handle the execution. Thus far, I think the execution is great in general, like across the board. The animation looks spectacular. Movie quality, maybe better than some of the movies. Like overall animation, better than Battle of Gods, Resurrection F. It's at least somewhere equivalent to the Broly movie. And, the absolute best parts of Super thus far. Like just the remakes of the Boo Saga didn't look weird. They looked modern animation, but they still looked great for modern animation. So that's a big positive for me. Like too much recap, I'll say that's definitely a worthwhile criticism or critique. I could see that, people would be like, okay, it's been 9 minutes. Why are we still recapping the Boo Saga? Like, we get it. It's more for like the audience who maybe they didn't watch Dragon Ball Z in a long time, which in this fandom, at least in my section of the world, is very believable. Trust me. I encounter that every single time I make a video. Maybe they haven't seen Super. So for hardcore fans like us, it's going to be something. I don't want to speak for everyone, but for hardcore fans like me and a lot of my fandom, fan base, audience, whatever have you, people who like my content are neutral and who hate watch it. They're going to know everything that already happened for the most part. And so they're going to be like, all right, can we get it on with? But if you're coming into Daima and it's been a long time since Z and you're somewhat familiar with the new content, maybe the new stuff, maybe you're just a new person in the series. They kind of cover their bases there. They give an idea as to who Goku is. They introduce him again. They say he's the strongest, but then again, it's kind of like, is he really though at this point? I don't know. I guess in this continuity, maybe, and then there's, what is it? And then there's, like everything that happens, like the Deborah situation. It was cool to see Deborah. It was cool to hear about his daddy Abra. Yeah, I don't want to go again too much into spoilers yet. But it was really fun overall to learn more about the demon realm, about some of the concepts, and it was really interesting, I'll say, in terms of how Toriyama is taking the story, or was, retroactively taking the story in different directions than Super seemed to. I had some people in the comments saying that they didn't think that there was any contradictions to Super, but then again, these are the same people probably who would comment on my videos talking about all the contradictions in Super and saying that there aren't any, and it's like, come on, dude. So that's one of the things with Daima so far. It seems like Toriyama is like, if he's taking anything from Super, he's loosely doing it. But everything thus far we've seen or heard in the story could be taken from Z, including the Battle of Gods movie, like that part of Z. Because remember, Battle of Gods wasn't a Super arc or Super manga originally arc. It was a movie. It was Toriyama coming back to the franchise for Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. So Toriyama very well could have counted Z Battle of Gods as his story, right? But he didn't count the Super versions and onward, where they introduce like a lot more onto it, if you see what I mean. Like in the manga, for instance, we have the introduction of Champa and Universe 6 and stuff really early on, like right away after that point, and they explain, the connection to Universe 6 and 7. But then this one, a little thing in terms of the cosmology here. In this one, they say that the closest universe to Universe 7 is Universe 3. So it's like, okay, I don't think Toriyama mentioned any other universes by number or anything in Battle of Gods. So he didn't bring up the whole that the universes must add up to the number 13 and the twin universe concepts and anything at the point in Battle of Gods. I don't even think he references it in Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. So Toriyama, like, quote unquote, fully wrote Resurrection F. The thing is that there's a lot of stuff in Resurrection F that they elaborate on. Like, for instance, you know, there was a little pamphlet guidebook that came out with the movie, and you see Toriyama's script, and it's not really a script in the normal sense, like a screenplay. It was more like a bunch of notes and things that he said happen, and then they turned it into like a script, and they made the movie based on that. But there were certain things that, you know, they had to add a lot of elaboration to. So, like, obviously, Toriyama didn't flesh out Tagoma anywhere near as much as the anime, even though for me that was the best part of Resurrection F, aside from some of the animation stuff. You know, like, he didn't like do certain things that are in there, like with the actual battle itself. He's like, there's something about the characters are fighting 1,000 warriors. You know, like, there's a lot of stuff he didn't include. So I kind of view it as, we'll see how much it really connects with Super, but so far I'm like, okay, they're directly contradicting stuff introduced in Super immediately. The Boo thing is like a gigantic dissonance in that sense, because there's somebody, you know, like somebody comment on the video saying that, oh, well, there's no thing, you know, it's like the Supreme Kai maybe just fused again before the show is over, and then they used the Dragon Balls. It's like, why would they do that if they just, you know, that's the thing too. It's like, in the manga version, the anime version, it's different. In the anime, we're just told that they gathered the Dragon Balls and they used them for defusing. But in the anime, it's just like, oh, we defused with the Dragon Balls because it felt weird. I mean, the thing is too, like, Goku straight up asks Shin, he's like, wait a second, you guys told us that this is supposed to be permanent. Why are you guys defused? Like, he's getting mad at Shin because he's like, you guys told us this would be permanent and now you're defused. Like, what the hell? And so Shin is like, oh, well, you know, the reason why you defuse inside a Boo, we tested it again with this Boo, and it's because there's a gas that Boo creates that's like, it negates fusion and causes them to defuse, even though, you know, we saw that Gotenks was still fused inside of him in the pod. So it's a little weird, but it still lines up with Goku's explanation, because Goku specifically said that, oh, maybe it's because of the bad air. So I get the impression, even though Toriyama liked to joke and, you know, like be really humble about this or play it up, like, Toriyama sometimes did go back and reread his own manga before he did stories. Like Battle of Gods, huge example. And Resurrection F. Look at, for instance, the fight between Goku and Beerus, and look at the fight between Goku and Kami when he first meets Kami. That is a very big similarity. Goku goes to square up and he goes to fight Kami. He's like, King Piccolo, and he goes to like punch him, and Popo's like, no, don't. He's like, you don't understand. And Kami's like, psh, and he finger flicks Goku, and he like takes him out, basically. Popo catches him, and then he explains what happens when Goku fights Beerus, the new strongest god. Goku is like, so that's like the Goku. I'm so strong. I beat this immortal, evil demon being from the past, just like with Piccolo when he goes to fight Popo and Kami. And in this, for whatever reason, even though I don't think it's really within Goku's character, to be honest, but Goku gets really overly confident. I beat Majin Buu. Do you want me to turn my power down, Lord Beerus, from Super Saiyan 3? He's like, no, that's fine. And then Beerus like wrecks him and he finger flicks him just like Kami. So he must have done that. Think of Ultra Instinct. Megate no Gokui. You know, what happens? When Goku trains with Mr. Popo in the arc leading up, and also Kami a little bit, but they on screen, let's say. When he trains with Popo and Kami, what is he teaching Goku how to do? move and act without thinking. Move as fast as lightning strikes, but without any thought. Clear your mind and stuff. And what is the power that Whis, much like Popo, the attendant to the god, is teaching Goku? Well, he teaches him how to move and fight on instinct. Ultra instinct, the mastery of self-movement. Same idea and principle, basically. Why he has to learn that twice and why it's so much better this time, I don't know. But either it is much better until then they basically reveal that it's all still based on your physical limitations and speed and all that stuff. And then Granola can still catch him off guard in the silver form and all, So basically, like, Toriyama has been proven to go back and to watch and reread his own manga and he might have watched a little bit of anime. So, like, he did that there. He did in the Cell Saga because he straight up, like, photocopied a picture of the first time Goku is, like, training with King Kai on his planet, like, establishing shot of the planet. He copied and pasted it and reused the same picture with slight edits in the Cell Saga of the manga when he goes to visit King Kai. So he went back and he reread it. Same thing here. He must have gone back and reread the Buu Saga and maybe some other parts. And he was like, okay, so I'm going to make this all about that. I'm going to reference specific things in this episode that I specifically talked about in the manga, like the bad air. Like, he had to have reread it. Either that or he's working with people that are like us, where they remember all this stuff. And they're like, oh, Toriyama sensei, remember in the manga when you wrote about the bad air? And he's like, yeah, let's do that. Let's have that be the explanation. I don't know if at any point they're like, Toriyama, what about what Gawasu said? Didn't he say that, like, it's like, oh, they can only be fused for an hour if they're Kais and stuff? I didn't write that. What are you talking about? That's Toyotaro. I didn't want Vegito to be in the super manga in the anime. Toyotaro came up with that. Screw him. This is my story, I mean, Toyotaro, I don't think worked on this at all. Toriyama did. Toriyama's way more involved with this than he was with the Dragon Ball Super story. Like, Toriyama didn't really write the Super story as much as he wrote this. And this, I think a lot of the stuff that we're seeing in just this first episode alone is proof of that. I feel like the bad air and the defusing with Buu is very much what we saw with, I'm getting all the cat hair off, speaking of Beerus. My god of destruction is called Penny, though. Pennywise, but no. His voice sounds like Tim Curry when he speaks in my mind. So I think it's just like what happened in Battle of Gods with the Pilaf gang. Toriyama is given a wink to the audience where he's like, hey guys, this is different from what you had just seen, the other continuation, continuity, or so on. Pilaf is old in GT, but in my story in Battle of Gods, him and his gang are young kids, right? And there's going to be a relationship between him and Trunks. Just don't think about it too much, guys. And, that might have been a Toei idea that he just, like, left in there. He's like, whatever, it's funny. So, in this one, it's like, okay, they defused before they do in Super because of an explanation that I came up with. So that's like, wink, it's not the same continuity as Super. So I think that's like a little kind of wink and nudge to the audience. And I'm fine with that because I've said this before. Like, a couple years ago, I made that video, why Dragon Ball Super isn't canon. And that whole idea wasn't that Super isn't canon to its own continuity. It isn't a part of a certain tier of canonicity, but rather it is not a part of Toriyama's canon that was a part of the manga that's behind me, right over there. He wrote and drew all that. It's not that he came up with everything on his own necessarily. He did have his editors pitch him ideas, like, his former editor, Torishima, called him up on the phone, even though they weren't working together, and Toriyama respected him so much, he changed 1920 to 1718, then changed it to Cell, and then his editor was like, hey, I want to interfere in the story. Make him have more forms, So, like, his current editor at the time, they were like having a battle of editors. It was basically like what happened with J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson, the sequel trilogy of Star Wars, except this time it was actually good. It was perfect, in fact. To be fair, Toriyama did introduce Cell to say that he was going to get his perfect form and stuff from absorbing the android. So maybe he anticipated that somebody was going to try and make him change his mind again. So he's like, okay, I'll build in like a plot line to where I have to change it. So Toriyama is playing 4D chess. You know, he was a genius, and a lot of people downplay his memory and stuff because like he did it himself. He was like Christian Bale in The Prestige, or like that old man in The Prestige that they see with the water, the giant fishbowl and stuff. He's like pretending to be like a weak old man when he's actually like super strong to do that trick. And then for Toriyama, he's pretending he has really bad memory, and he never rereads his stuff. But it's like, no, now we have proof that he definitely did. Either that, or he's working with people who were really on top of things, unlike, you know, Toyotaro and a lot of the other guys. So that's great for me. That's like a big A plus in terms of they're actually remembering the continuity, except for the Boo thing. The other Boo thing, that is, because in the same scene, they say that they use the Dragon Balls to wish for Boo to be a good guy, which is like, that's actually not what happened. So in the same scene, they kind of confirm that they're reading the manga, and then I guess that maybe they just stopped like right then. Like maybe they got to the part where they kill Boo, and then it's like, okay, we don't need to read anymore. It's like, but wait a sec. Hold on a second. There's like 3 chapters left. Could you please like just read those? You know, like read the part where they wish away Boo's memory, please. Oh, yeah. It's like, okay, do we need? And Toriyama was like, okay, I think we got the idea of the story. Do we need to read these last 3 chapters I wrote? And they're like, nah, it'll be fine. They made some kind of wish involving Boo, and everyone thinks he's good or something now. Just write that. All right, sounds good to me. So it's like, okay. But then again, it's like, remember, Crunchyroll can be weird sometimes with the translations. And remember, Fist of King Kai, they translate Kaioken literally. I mean, there's a part in, I think it was in this episode where Vegeta says number 1 or something. No, actually, that was in Daima. Sorry. I don't remember if, like, I'll have to or not Daima. That was in Sparking Zero, which definitely didn't reread the story before they made the game with the campaign. That makes no sense. So, Daima, really, I'm high on Daima, you know, but the Sparking Zero campaign, it's like, oof, boy. There's a night and day here between due diligence and no diligence. Yeah, sure. Goku could just beat all the androids in imperfect style on his own. It's totally fine. Versus, you know, bad air. Really bad eggs. Yo ho, me hearties. Yeah, so I really like it. Great animation so far. Really creative. You could tell Toriyama was definitely involved in this because of just like the introduction and of the exposition through 2 characters that Toriyama always would do. He loved the duos. I did a video years ago, like the most iconic duos or the best duo in Dragon Ball. And, you know, like the whole like Dune dimensional inter-universal travel. That was so awesome, where they go inside the giant fish. They have to give like a passcode to go in. I didn't look it up. I just wanted to kind of do things more naturally with my review. But I kind of wonder if, yes, hi, Penny. I kind of wonder if I just like got all your hair off me, but I guess you want to give me more. Thank you for the gift. And yeah, so I didn't look too much into it, but maybe the number that he gives to the fish is a reference to something. I don't know what it was. Hopefully it wasn't like Toriyama's pin code to his bank or so, you know, like Toriyama, please don't put that in there. We don't need them taking your money or anything, or, you know, your social security number if they have those in Japan or something. I don't know. But, you know, it could be a reference. There could be other references I didn't pick up on my first viewing. Obviously, I'm going to rewatch this. I might even go see the first few episodes in theaters with a friend of mine. He messaged me saying that he might be interested. That'd be cool. And so, yeah, that would be, you know, we'll have to see. Because any chance I get to see Dragon Ball in theaters, I always take it. I saw Superhero twice in theaters, in English and in Japanese. So I'm looking forward to it. Wait a second. Let's see what you're saying. Sound wave. The bad air diffusion thing could just be with the Potara specifically. Oh, yeah, actually, you're right. Sound wave. That's something I didn't think of. They didn't, well, to be fair, they didn't mention it. But then again, it could be the translation, because most people who only read the English or something, they don't know this. But in Japanese, there are two different terms for the fusions. They're not both called fusion. The Metamoran fusion is literally fusion or fugo or whatever. But, Purple Haze from JoJo. But no, it's in Japanese, the combination through the Potara is called gatai, merging. And so I have to rewatch that and listen to what they say. Because if it says that there is gas that he emits that defuses or like eliminates gatai, then it's like, oh, okay, that's good. That works. I get it. But that's another thing about watching something with the translation, especially, like a lot of times too, one of the things that can make things more confusing in the localization of the English is that they'll like simplify things. So like, for instance, when you watch in Japanese, they mention different types of ki and energy, but when you watch in English, they just call everything energy. So they don't really mention genki, for instance, comparative to ki. And different types, right? In this, they were talking about black magic and white magic. And they said that if you want to do something to the good guys, that will be a black wish. And aren't these Dragon Balls white magic? And won't it be like, and that's cool. That's like, wow. Toriyama was like referencing like RPGs, like Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy and stuff. And it's like, that's cool. Like I don't remember them ever mentioning white magic in Dragon Ball. Maybe I'm misremembering or just forgetting or whatever. But that's cool if they're mentioning black magic and white magic. Because of course, we had Madoshi Babidi, like the warlock, the evil magician, the wizard in English. But he had black magic. He was like a black mage in a sense. So it would be cool for them to get more into that. They specifically mentioned that they were going to try and weaken all the fighters by turning them into kids. So we'll have to see if it's like GT where Goku actually doesn't get any weaker. He just, in GT, that's like a misconception that I want to do a video on at some point. Goku actually didn't get weaker in GT when he became a kid. He just couldn't maintain Super Saiyan 3 because of his child body. And he couldn't use the instant transmission because he couldn't focus as much or whatever. It wasn't that he was weaker. It's just that he couldn't maintain those. So in a roundabout way, you could say that he was weaker just because he couldn't maintain a form, but he was still just as strong in his base in every other form. And when he was Super Saiyan 3, he was just as strong. As a matter of fact, there's also a thing where I've noticed when I did my short about can Super Saiyan 3 be mastered, people are like, yeah, if he has a tail like in GT, and I'm like, that isn't what they said. Like that Goku's power, he wasn't really stronger or anything as Super Saiyan 3 when he got his tail. Like the whole point is like he goes to fight Baby, and then Baby's like, wait, you're not any stronger than you were before, and he still like wrecks him, and then with the tail he becomes a golden Ozaru. Yeah, Toriyama did the art for Dragon Quest. He also did the art for Chrono Trigger and Blue Dragon, which is the only one of those games I actually own. I own Chrono Cross, though. I remember Black and Fist did a video like a long time ago, like 8 years ago or something, about the music in Chrono Cross. So I hope I get to work with him soon. That'd be cool. I know he popped up recently on YouTube again, but I want to see him come back on his channel, but I would like to have him on my channel. I just don't know what video I want to do with him. I usually do videos with about Dr. Gero with Juan, but I want to do something different this time. I'm going to do another video next month with another YouTuber about Dr. Gero that I hope it works out. With me, I just like, if something happens, then I'm going to believe it happens. You know what I mean? Like, but it's going to be great if it does work out. It's going to be it has potential to be one of my best videos because, from my perspective, what I really like and enjoy in my videos is different than a lot of I know a lot of other people might enjoy. So like some of my videos last year I did that are my favorites are the one that I did with Juan about why didn't the androids obey Dr. Gero? 40-minute deep dive into the androids, into their inspirations from Toriyama, into artificial intelligence. Like he posed some interesting questions, like about how intelligent Dr. Gero's computer is, and just how much it influenced Cell and everything. If it was truly more of the computer's creation than Gero's, like he made some great points in that video, and so I want to do another one with him, but I do, another video that didn't do as well, unfortunately, but is still up there among my favorites of last year and really of all time, is my video I did with Plague of Gripes, which is how does gravity training work? Because that was basically like, as he said in the video, he was like, what did he say? He was like, this basically is turning into his theory of everything, of like how ki works. And it's like, I want to kind of expand on that a little bit more and do a video about how like power-ups work and kind of the psychology of that. Every time we work together, though, it's kind of during a down period on my channel, but I don't know. We'll see how things go with Daima. That'd be great. Like if Daima actually kind of helps offset the down period, plus, the breaks I've been taking, I kind of hope that with me doing more long form content again, it's going to have a better end of the year, Daima and everything. But, we'll have to see. No expectations, but I'd love to actually have like my videos in late October, November, and December be promoted this year. But, my goal for the Daima review is like 2,000 views. That would be cool if I get that many. If I don't, it's like, well, at least I have like 1,000 right now, I think. So it's pretty cool. I like it. I really enjoy the show, so I don't mind reviewing it either way. It's basically, there's something to be said about watching and reviewing a brand new show. Like a new Dragon Ball, for instance. Like when it comes out and everyone's excited and I'm kind of excited and I get to watch it and I enjoy it. I get to appreciate that thing that people love to be a part of something new and experience all of that. And so, I get to be a part of that too, and I like it. Like I had said before, I kind of hope it's not going to be a situation where everyone hates it and I like it, because then people will think I'm a contrarian, like a lot of people did with Super. But they thought I was getting hate clicks, and then they'll just think I'm getting like shill clicks or whatever they want to call the opposite. And it's like, no, I just have different opinions than you. But with this, it's like, so far, everyone I talk to seems to think it's good. I did see some people who said that it's like bad or an embarrassment or something. It's like, I don't understand how, but you're entitled to your opinion. I just hope you articulate it better than just like a blanket statement like that. And then, then I can at least have a little bit better appreciation for your argument, even if I don't agree with it. Like the biggest problem for me with Daima so far is just that it takes place during the 10-year time skip, because that's always an issue with modern Dragon Ball. Like it takes place before GT in the timeline. And so it's like, if you really want to have stakes, and not just the beef, you want to try and make sure that it takes place during a time where we don't know what's going to happen next. And with Daima, we know what's going to happen next. So for me, it's going to come down less to tension or tension Han, and more to, I always have to make that joke. It's like so played out, but I'm like Trey and Matt. Wait, not Trey and Matt Parker. They're not married. I'm like Trey Stone and Matt Parker from South Park. I just beat jokes into the ground sometimes, and so I just, if it's executed really well, it could be like a good prequel, like Star Wars prequel trilogy. Like at least episode 3 is universally love for the most part. I mean, it can't be universally loved for the most part, Mike. That's not how words work. But, it could be like The Godfather Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, as Harold said a long time ago. So, yeah, like if it's executed well, then it's like, okay, there's no tension. But then again, when I go back and rewatch the other series, like I know it's going to happen too, but I still love them. So it doesn't matter. So for this, it's all about the execution. And that's really it. Like GT, great concepts, generally bad execution. With this, it could be somewhat similar concepts, but great execution. And that's Toriyama's biggest strong suit when he was creating art, which is that some of his ideas, if you tell somebody them, they're going to think they suck on paper. But then you watch them, it's like, this is amazing. Wait, you mean to tell me that in a show about characters who could blow up planets with a sneeze, there are some robots that are made stronger than the Emperor of the Universe, and there's like a time-traveling guy like in Terminator, and it's basically like X-Men Days of Future Past and the Terminator, and there's like John Connor, Kyle Reese with a sword that's also a Super Saiyan that just so happens to appear and kill Frieza out of nowhere, and like, the ultimate, then there's like an old man and a fatso, and then they get killed and they're replaced by two punk teenagers, and then a weird cricket lizard bug man who drinks people, and then he eats the teenagers, and then he turns into a perfect cricket monster who can blow up the solar system because he has electricity, and he blew himself up, but he survived somehow, like Palpatine. And then he somehow still survived, and he became even more perfect than ever. And then a little boy who's about 9 or 11, depending upon what you believe, screams really hard, and he shoots a laser beam at him, and he vaporizes him, but doesn't blow up the solar system. And then they all magically live happily ever after when his dad goes off with a big blue beetle into orange pink heaven to train forever. That's then John Connor, Kyle Reese goes back and he blows up the teenagers and the Bugman at the end. It's like, that sounds really dumb. Why would anyone think this is great? No, it's like a masterpiece. It's like the best arc ever. It's like, what? Yeah. So that was Toriyama's strong suit. He was great at taking ideas that sound like insane and like they would never work on paper, and then making them like amazing. And so, yeah, Cell Saga is the best saga. I love it. All of that stuff works in spite of the fact that he literally came up with a time-traveling Terminator story with multiple timelines and changing the story in and out of universe over the course of every single week, just writing stuff off the top of his head, and it's like a masterpiece. So good job, Toriyama. You were amazing, and I like what Daima is doing so far. I love it. I'm really happy that it's good so far, guys. I needed, I wanted it to be good. I didn't need it. I don't need it. I need it. But yeah, I'm happy it's doing well. By the way, we got 60 people watching. Can we get those likes up to 50? Cheap plug. Bang, bang. Hey, thank you so much, guys. Victor Vega. Sorry, I know it was like 3 streams ago that I kept having to get rid of and then start again because of my weird antivirus. But I got, it's no longer a problem. So thank you for rejoining as a member again for 5 months now. You're right about to get that cool Herald one that some of my longest term members have. I'm going to start adding even more. Wait a second. You're are you 5 or 6 months, Victor? Sorry, you don't have to send another chat to tell me. But I appreciate it. Show is cool. Thought we were getting Kitty Beerus. Yeah, Beerus isn't awake yet if we're going to go by... If this leads into Battle of Gods, which I could see it doing because after all, Toriyama did write Battle of Gods, unless he counts it as a separate continuity, because Toriyama was really strict, to use Kwame's term, about continuity. Like, he didn't come up with some of the stuff in Battle of Gods, so he might have been like, well... I'm contributing to something and making it more of my own, but it's still not my own because I didn't come up with it. Whereas with this one, he did come up with it. So it's hard to understand. Canon is such a weird thing. Trust me. Like, I've tried so hard to explain it to people. And it's like, it took me a long time to start to figure out some of this stuff myself. In 10 years, I might have an even better understanding of it. Sometimes I think that the ultimate canon is just what's in somebody's head before they put it down onto work. And so, for me, it's like I'll see the movie of my books I'm writing. Like I see everything. It's like I go on a trip. I see everything, like in Terminator 2, my favorite movie. Another reason why I love the Cell Saga. And I'll go on a trip to another universe, not that kind of trip, but I'll basically like go on a grand tour of another world and I'll watch people's lives like a weirdo. I'll be like looking at them and I'll be writing down what they're doing, but no, I'll be like watching everything unfold. And then I go to write it and it's like, why isn't it coming out the way I see it in my head? Why is it so hard to translate from there to paper or to just explain this to somebody? It's so difficult. But yeah, it's like, the editor I'm working with, he's like, I'm like, can I just describe everything possible in depth so they could see perfectly everything I'm seeing in my head? It's like, no, because that'll be boring and nobody's going to want to read it. So it's like, all right, like you can't have the characters say what they said in my head because like it'll be boring. So you have to like show a lot of stuff or leave things open. And it's like, okay, I'll do that. I'll try. I'll rework it, even though I feel like I was there and I saw everything happening. But it's like, it's fine. It is what it is. So it's either way. Canon is a very, very complicated concept, and it's been around for thousands of years, since the beginning of storytelling, but the concept of canon really kicked off, let's say, with the establishment of like the canon in the Bible, for instance. So that's where the term comes from. Hugo, thank you so much. I gotta like expand this chat a little bit. I could barely read it. Hugo Welty, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. Thank you so much for your you're too Canadian. I don't know the exchange rate, but you love the Gallico Kamehameha flashback. Yeah. Or throwback. Yeah, I do. It's like they do it in every series. It's like one of the most iconic moments in Dragon Ball Z. Oftentimes it's seen as like the most iconic fight ever, but yeah, like it's something that they love to reference, and yeah, it was fun. It was like well animated. Everything in this episode looked great. Really great. One of the things I've said before that I really want and almost kind of need it, is great atmosphere in anime when I'm watching it. Like if it's all just like the same look, every scene, every angle, it always is like, I know I don't want to always like speak negatively about One Piece on here, I know. But most of the time I'm watching One Piece, it is always the same. Like it's always the clear blue sky, and like it's not like I'll go and watch like Jujutsu Kaisen or Hunter x Hunter or Yu Yu Hakusho or JoJo, and it's like a dramatic scene. Everything is purple and cloudy, and like just based upon the scene, because of how it was directed, the animation, you'll see like it changes everything. In this episode, so many colorations. Everything will be in red in one episode. It'll be like really dark and gloomy. You'll get Best Girl. What's her name again? Sorry, hold on. You'll get like the vampire chick that I feel like is gonna have a lot of fan art very soon. Shin's girl sister, and everything looks great. I love the way the atmosphere. That's something I need in anime. Like I need good atmosphere to keep me going. Because even if the story itself is like, I've seen this before, it's like if it's like really well executed in terms of the atmosphere and the animation, it's like, okay, like that looks great. I like it. I'll keep going. Certain subject matter too helps though. Like I like vampire stories. I might watch the classic black and white Dracula and Spanish Dracula and Frankenstein stuff for Halloween this year. I have a lot of them on Blu-ray, so I might watch them and maybe even do like, I don't know. I kind of want to do a Halloween party this year, but we'll see if I end up doing it. I thought GT was non-canon. No, GT is canon. It's just that it's a part of its own continuity, and it might be connected to, well, GT is a part of the Dragon Ball Z anime continuity. I know it's confusing, but in the final episode of Dragon Ball Z, there's a next episode preview for Dragon Ball GT, and you have Goku introducing, check out the next adventure of Dragon Ball in the next episode. And then literally the next week, GT episode 1 came out. So there is the next episode preview in the last episode of Z that connects Z and GT. So within the anime continuity of the original anime, GT is a part of the same canon continuity as Dragon Ball Z. It just isn't a part of Toriyama's manga prime continuity. That's the El Primera. That's the number one, the Ichiban at the very top. And then you have like secondary tier will be Dragon Ball Z anime, Dragon Ball Z. The anime and GT will be a part of that same continuity. Depending upon your perspective, they haven't denied it yet. Super could be in the 10-year time skip, as well as Yosan Goku, perhaps. And then it kind of it's confusing because the movies are also either second or third tier. But, you know, it's kind of like when you get to the tiers, it becomes more debatable because it's like, which tier are the guidebook entries, for instance? You could have more than one continuity per tier, but the guidebook, some people think are top tier because Toriyama contributed to some of them. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not a part of the manga. So it's a whole thing, you know. Canon is very confusing. It takes a long time to figure it out, and sometimes like you could still talk about and debate this stuff for years. Trust me. Inside GT. Yes, Kanji needs coffee. How's it going? Let's see. Daima is post-Boo fight. Yes, it is. You're correct. It's in the 10-year time skip. Think Gohan. Thank you so much, Edwin J. Garcia. I really appreciate the super chat. Show some love. It's really, I don't know why I decided to put my chat. I'll put it on this window. I think Gohan being so relevant during Super particularly has to do with Toriyama not being involved fully. It was Toei's decision to make Goku and Vegeta show. Yeah, I mean, like, as far as I know, Toriyama didn't really plan to do much of anything with Gohan in Dragon Ball Super Superhero. It was mostly like the Piccolo movie. And then it was Ioku, perhaps? I don't remember specifically. I'm back. Did I Savior? Did I phase out again, or are you just tuning in now? So if I remember correctly, Ioku might have been the one who told him to put Gohan in the movie because Gohan is really popular in America. So, you know, Gohan was hugely popular in Japan, though. That's a misconception. A lot of people believe that Gohan becoming the main character was something that fans hated, and they threatened Toriyama, all this stuff. It's all BS. There's no proof of it. Never once did Toriyama say that was true. In all the interviews where he mentions it, you could see all the interviews with Toriyama on Kanzenshu. He never once said that. He said that he just thought Gohan wasn't right to be the main character. But I think that, you know, he doesn't elaborate on why. But I think it's because Toriyama was done with writing the manga. He wanted to stop. And so he thought that maybe making the story end with Goku again would be a more fitting ending because he was the main character for most of the series up until then. He wasn't the main character for most of Namek and most of the Cell Saga. And there are points where like it shifted back and forth even from the very first arc, but he was the primary main character for most of the series in the manga up until Z, when, you know, the Saiyan saga, it shifts back and forth between him and Gohan and Ko. On Namek, he's barely involved aside from points here and there, especially at the ending when he takes over. In the Cell saga, he's more the mentor role. And so, you know, he even does the exact same things as King Kai at points, like yelling at Gohan, you need to finish him, training Gohan like King Kai did, a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of parallels. Goku takes on the mentor role in that arc. You know, he wasn't supposed to be there anymore. He died in the original timeline and stuff. Gohan was the hero in that timeline, died, and so Trunks became the main hero there, and Gohan was the main hero in the main one. I'll say main too many times in this. But yeah, so with regard to that, Toriyama like had changed his mind about that with Gohan, but Gohan won like character polls in the Cell Saga. He was the most popular character in Japan in the series. Goku wasn't anymore. Gohan was. Everybody wanted to see Gohan as the main character. Toriyama built up to it perfectly. Even had him beat the perfect villain. And so yeah, I in a sense, even though I love Gohan as a character, he's my favorite character in the franchise, up there with Future Trunks until Dragon Ball Super ruined him. I loved Gohan becoming the main character. His storyline was great, but at the same time, it's like him kind of coming back at and getting Beast out of nowhere and everything in the movie was a little too much, like it wasn't built up to enough. It was basically rehashing the Cell Saga, but it wasn't as earned as in the Cell Saga. It was kind of like Piccolo decided to stop being the main character in that arc and make Gohan the main character in the movie. And then he was like, okay, let's rile your dad up and have him win. But meanwhile, it's like, well, Piccolo got 2 new forms and he still is fighting Cell and stuff. Can't Piccolo just win? Like Gohan even wins with Piccolo's technique. And so it's like, I like Gohan winning and stuff. It's cool, but it's like I would have been fine with Piccolo because it's like Piccolo finally gets his shine in a sense. He finally gets his own story arc, just in a movie. Movies can be arcs even though they're just really condensed. But it's like at least they both were really strong at the end. They both were still standing. So it's fine. And Vegeta fans, we're happy that he beat Goku somewhat definitively on screen. I mean, they were both in their base forms the whole time, but they're pretty much drawing until Vegeta like nudged Goku over. He basically pulled a Homer Simpson, where Homer just gets beaten up and his opponent gets tired out, and he just nudges him and he wins. And so yeah, Vegeta won, but then he's like, I finally beat Kakarot. It's like, well, Vegeta, you won every single fight you've ever had with Goku. Get over it. And then Toriyama's ending of the story of when he rewrote the ending of the manga. I don't know how many people are aware of that, but it's the ending of the manga where we see that Goku gives Oob the flying Nimbus, the Kinto Un, and he flies off, and Goku pictures himself flying on the Kinto Un next to Oob. It's like a passing of the torch. Even more so, then he has the very last panel where it's like Vegeta is like, Kakarot, one day I'll show you defeat. It's like, dude, it's been 10 years. Get over it. At least in GT, he got over it, except for the couple times he didn't. But, for the most part, he got over it. And then he was equal to Goku at the end, except for, when everyone died except for Goku, even though he might have been dead. He was like a spirit or something, and so he was the strongest by default at the very least. I guess everybody died off screen in GT. I don't know how or why. I mean, like Piccolo, he was only like, I don't know, 20 or something in GT. So like he was a little bit older than Gohan. So I don't know, 30 or something. So he should have still been alive 100 years later. Like that would be nothing for him. That would be like, I don't know, a quarter of his life, but whatever. It's fine. Master Roshi was immortal, whatever. It's fine. Crane Herman Baba, I don't know, what the hell happened to Crane Herman? He got blasted off screen and he just died of off-screenitis, It's like what happened to Mandrak in Final Crisis. He fell off screen and he just like ceased to exist because. But thank you very much, Edwin. How's it going, everybody? Shayna, how's it going? Awcraft. Sorry, I don't know what language that's in. How's it going? Hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. Where does Dragon Ball Evolution fit in? Dragon Ball Evolution does not fit in because I choose to forget that it exists. And so does Toriyama. He made Battle of Gods because of Dragon Ball Evolution. So I guess that at least if Daima is great, we in part owe it to Dragon Ball Evolution. That gives me a bad taste in my mouth. Damn it, Justin Chatwin. No. he's a fine actor, I guess. He just, he reminds me of like Andrew Garfield from Wish. Emmy Rossum though, she's like, I don't know who is her from Wish, but she yeah. She I don't have any problem with her being cast in anything. She's like Alexandra Daddario for me, or the girl from the new Ballerina John Wick movie, Ana de Armas, or I don't know, I'm sure I can go on. Do they state Roshi and Piccolo died? I think in Hero's Legacy they do, that everyone is dead except for Pan. Now, I didn't know this actually either, so I have to give credit to Mr. Fusion for this. He's, watching his videos, Dragon Ball Dissection, going to his panel at the first Kamehacon. A lot of stuff I learned from Mr. Fusion, which is that Hero's Legacy didn't come out after GT. It actually came out during it. Hero's Legacy came out, I think, after the Baby arc, before Super 17. So it basically spoiled the rest of the show. And I guess most people don't know this, and because we watch it afterward. I have it right over there, behind my copy of Superhero. For some reason, you can't see GT, but it's right there, behind, somewhere in that vicinity. But yeah, Hero's Legacy came out before the end of GT. So when Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. show up in their Super Saiyans and stuff, it's like that was actually a callback to the special. Goku was already like a spirit 100 years in the future with the power of the Dragon Balls and granting wishes and stuff. He was already Golden Superman Prime 1 million in that universe, basically. Like, that was already locked in a stone, unlike the people that Deborah spit on. So I kind of wonder if we'll find out, and that'd be cool, like if Toriyama does a callback and we find out at some point in Daima that there are, somebody please clip this if this happens so that I'll get credit. But it would be cool if, because this is connected to Deborah and he was the Demon King, and he was for a long time after his father Abra, died and Kadabra took over. And if we find out that Deborah spit on a bunch of people and turned them to stone, and they were stone for like hundreds of years or like 1,000 years or something, and then after he died in the Buu saga, they unfroze. And so like maybe there will be characters in the show that Deborah spit on, and now they're like, it's like Dr. Stone. Like they were in stone for like hundreds of years, or, I guess, some Power Rangers character that happened to. And now it's like, I am free. I was in stone for so long. I was stoned off my ass for so long, but now I'm free. Like that would, that'd be cool. That'd be a cool way, It's still, decades later, I still kind of wish that Deborah did more and could do more, but I guess it's kind of like King Cold. We're learning more about his legacy, but just not the one with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Thank you so much, Xavier. Maybe mini Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. We see mini Super Saiyan Goku in one of the trailers. So I kind of was hoping that they wouldn't have the forms anymore, that they'd be so regressed in a sense that they would lose those forms too, and then they would develop like new forms. Like they're talking about magic. So it'd be cool if like they learned magical abilities and Goku had like magical powers and techniques instead of, using the same forms. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe he'll find out that the forms aren't good enough and he has to do something totally different. That'd be cool. I mean, that'll definitely, it'll be like what Toyotaro was trying to do with Spirit, where he gets like Goku and the others get new form or new powers that help them. I mean, Toei might be like, please, Toriyama, can we have more forms so that we could sell more toys? But, it'd be cool if they got new abilities that let them do cool powers and stuff and like take things in a different direction. That's going to be like, did Toriyama make this show for me? like, and make it, because I'm just gonna like be I'm just be giving the glowing reviews like every episode of if that happens. I'm gonna taper my expectations now, because let's be fair, it is the first episode. It could be great every episode and just only get better, but I gotta reel it in. I gotta be 100. Oh, my back! I'm 100 years old. Okay. Just finished episode 1 of Daima. Avid DBZ and Super fan, thought it was pretty good. Cool. Even the people really like Super will enjoy it, I guess. That's good. Piccolo died in GT at the end of the Black Star Saga. Yes, he did. He died for no reason. he died because if he died, the Black Star Dragon Balls would deactivate. But it's like, well, why don't you just like hide them so nobody could find them like you did before? Why don't you just, I don't know, why don't you use another pair of Dragon Balls, another set, to send them to like another place that nobody will ever find them? I don't know. Why don't you throw them into the sun, right? Like, there's a lot of things you could do, Piccolo, other than commit Sudoku by planet exploding. Like, that was kind of just... We need something dramatic to happen for emotionality in this arc. We'll have Piccolo die, even though it comes out of nowhere. Twice, basically. Because Piccolo pretty much died when Gohan blasted him, and then he just shows up at the end. Oh, I'm still alive, by the way, and I'm going to die again. It's like, no, not again, Mr. Piccolo! And then he died again. For real this time. And then he went to hell, because he had to help get Goku out. But then he was stuck there for eternity, I guess. Unless maybe he was reincarnated eventually. I don't really know. It was weird. Dragon Ball Evolution, man, that's cringe. Yeah, I wish I could forget it, but Emmy Rossum and Jamie Lee, I forget what her name is, the actress who played Chi-Chi. That was some good casting. Those were two of the good things in that movie. Two of the only good things. You also had the first appearance of Zamasu as Orange Piccolo. I assume most people will get that reference. Hopefully Piccolo met Pikkon in GT Underworld. Was Kate Beckinsale there with her all-leather outfit? I don't know. I mean, is Pikkon ever once shown a reference in GT? I don't think he is. Not to my expansive knowledge. Well, they're already scattered across the universe again. Let's see. Well, the planet was exploding because of the first wish. But it's like, couldn't they have used the Namekian Dragon Balls to wish the Dragon Balls back to Earth? Couldn't they have gone to the Demon Daima realm and found Nava, the guy who invented Dragon Balls, apparently, and then been like, hey, dude, can you just like reactivate the balls and bring them back to Earth? That's a weird thing. I also, for whatever reason, like, I don't know, I guess it's just, I watched the anime, I took notes of this episode. It seems like they specifically say, spoilers, guys, for this, just cover your ears for the next 10 seconds, that Neva created the original Dragon Balls thousands of years ago. He's thousands of years old, had his life expanded by King Goma, and then, he made them in the Demon Realm, which is where the Namekians are from. But then I had people commenting and saying, oh, well, he just made the Demon Realm Dragon Balls. He didn't make the originals, but it's like, no, they said that he made the Dragon Balls, like that. They came from there, and that's the reason he can activate the Dragon Balls again, because he invented Dragon Balls, which is a direct contradiction to the Namekian Super Dragon Ball origin, where I guess the Namekians were like the favored race of Salama, something like that. And they like studied the Super Dragon Balls, and they like shaved off pieces in Dragon Ball Super, and they turned them into their own Dragon Balls, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, to be fair, but I don't know. Maybe they just shaved them and then they like, the shaving, and then they like turn them into balls and they can use the wishes somehow. But yeah, like in this version, it seems like it's completely different in that Neva was the one who made the Dragon Balls originally. Like he invented Dragon Balls, and all the Dragon Clan descended from him. They didn't say that part, but I would have to assume so, because that was the whole thing that Guru said on Namek, the Grand Elder Saichoro, Super Kami Guru, whatever. That he, all the people who can make Dragon Balls, the Namekians, and Namek Saijin, they are the ones who were descended from the Dragon Clan. Dende was one, and that's why he could remake them or make them new. And Kami, the nameless Namekian, the original one, was able to do that. His father Katats was from that, so they must be descended from Neva then. Never existed until right now. I don't know. Never gonna work here again, like Office Space. But yeah, either way, that's what it seemed like they said to me. But then I had people saying, no, he just made the Demon Realm Dragon Balls, and it doesn't contradict Super at all. It's like, I don't know about that one, Chief. It seems like they're directly contradicting Super. Well, yeah, he knew more about them than anyone, but that's because he made the original ones. I mean, I'll rewatch the episode just to, like if I'm wrong, that's fine. Like I'll correct it in the next video or whatever, but it definitely seems to me like they were saying straight up that he created the original Dragon Balls. And that's why he knew more about them than anyone. And like, like they just were in the demon realm because that's where Namekians come from. So I'll rewatch the episode. It's fine. Like I have no problem with saying that I misread it or I misunderstood the first time. It's fine. I only watched the episode once so far. Back in the day when I would do my Super reviews, I'd rewatch the episode like multiple times, and then I would go frame by frame clipping everything. But then it would take like a very long time for me to make the videos and put them out. And then, you wouldn't get my initial reaction reviews like you can now. So I took a bunch of notes. I don't recall writing that. Let's see what I wrote down. So Demon Realm Dragon Balls protected by 3 Tamagamis. Neva, who is a Namekian, who's thousands of years old. His lifespan has been extended by Demon King. He can call the balls to him even if they're made of stone. Namekians come from the Demon Realm. Okay. Now, did I write that part down? Namekians originally... So we're also told the Namekian originally created the Dragon Balls, contradicting the concept of Super Dragon Balls. So I wrote that down when I was watching the episode. So I don't know. I'll rewatch it. It's fine. Like it's definitely an episode I'm going to rewatch a bunch of times. So like I said, I have no problem with correcting myself if I got it incorrect. Human being, we all make mistakes. That's why pencils have erasers. It's a happy accident, like Bob Ross used to say. I thought they said they will extend his lifespan for 1,000 years for helping them, but right now, presently, and don't remember them saying he created them the first time, just the demon world. Well, no, they said that he's thousands of years old, and the implication is that he'll expand his lifespan 1,000 years right now for helping, but the implication is that he has already done that. They already said that he's thousands of years old. Like that's the reason I put that in there. It's not that, like they say it before that scene. There's a lot of exposition in this episode during the recap and stuff, but I'm pretty positive when they first introduce him, they say that he's like thousands of years old. He's not just Kami's age or something like that. Like it's also implied he's been around super long too, because he doesn't even think the Namekians are still alive anymore. He thinks that he's like the last one. He's like happy that there are other Namekians who are still alive, so I'm guessing he knew about the extinction event on planet Namek, but yeah, like it's implied he's by far the oldest Namekian, and I'm pretty positive they say he's thousands of years old. I thought that they were going to explain that like it was granted, like he wished for him to be that old. But they also said that, I'm pretty sure they said that he's the one that created the 3 Tamagamis that protect the Dragon Balls. So he's easily the most powerful Namekian too. So yeah. They really need to quit making Dragon Balls. I mean, yeah, like it is a little bit silly that there's so many sets of Dragon Balls now. You know, if we count the super continuity as still being a part of this continuity and, you know, everything that means that there's the Earth ones, there's the new Namek ones with Mori, who's the God Guardian there. There is the Demon Realm ones. There is the ones on Granola's planet with whatever his name is, I forget. And then there's the Super Dragon Balls. And then there are Dragon Balls probably in Universe 6, which means that, I don't know. I mean, maybe if, like I said, if the same continuity applies, then maybe the Universe 6 Namekians were also from the Demon Realm. Because it seems that the Demon Realm now is not just like a little thing at the bottom of the universal sphere. It's a separate world. The inner world or whatever, whereas everything else with other universes is the outer world. And so as a result, you know, maybe that means there's only one Makaioshin realm in each multiverse, each like collection of universes, as Dragon Ball refers like as a multiverse for that version. And as a result, all the Namekians in Universe 6 also came from the Demon Realm. Maybe they split into 2. Maybe they went to Universe 6 first and then came to 7. They haven't elaborated on that. But then again, Toriyama in this episode had it written that Universe 3 is the closest to Universe 7, even though we've been told that universes that add up to 13 are twins and are probably the closest in proximity in that sense too. And so I think when they zoom out and they show the multiverse, they show 6 and 7 next to each other. Like they're the twin universes. So it makes sense if they're the closest, unless like in the circle, like they're directly opposed or something. Like, you know, on this end of a circle, you know, there's not really an end, but let's just, you know, there's a circle, here's 6 and here's 7, or I'm pretty sure it's actually like 6 and 7, you see? So the fact that 3 is closer to 7 than 6 is, either that means that 3 is like right next to 7 and it's somehow closer, or, which I don't see how that would make any sense either way, or Toriyama is like changing up the cosmology here, because it wouldn't make any sense for them to go to universe. Like if we're thinking about a clock, right? 1, 2, 3, okay? 4, 5, 6, 7. So why would they go from 3 all the way up here on the clock? I know you're looking at it inverted, but 3 on the clock to 7, you know, like instead of 6 to 7. You see what I'm saying? Like thinking about it in terms of like spatial reasoning or whatever. So like I said before, I think in my review, Toriyama, I don't think elaborated on all this stuff with the adding up to 13 and the 6 and 7 twin universes and stuff in Battle of Gods or the Resurrection F movie or the other movies that he wrote, like Broly and Superhero. So yeah, it's kind of like, that's kind of like, So either this is a retcon, this is something that doesn't really make any sense, or his version of the continuity with the universes and the ordering, the cosmology is different than what Toyotaro and Toei and Shueisha the Dragon Room put into super manga and anime. I know, again, extremely complicated, but that's how canon is. Toriyama had a totally different idea, it seems like, in his mind as to how things were than everyone else. And, you know, I guess we're going to see it on screen. If Daima is the part of the super continuity, it's an interquel of an interquel to the end of Z. Yeah, I know. Trust me. It's crazy. It's like Yosun Goku, but that came out first. And even then, that's like not necessarily canon. Headache, right? Toriyama references Yosun Goku in his Battle of Gods movie that he wrote because he makes He wrote Bulma to say, or he left the line in because he approved of it, that, hey, Vegeta, don't you have a brother somewhere? And then I think Vegeta's like, yeah, but I didn't get his phone number or something like that. So like that when they were going to do the Super Saiyan God ritual, they reference Kaba. I mean, you could make a really autistic argument. Sorry, guys, but that's like, well, actually, they didn't say Kaba. So in Toriyama's continuity, what the case really is that is that there was another brother that just was never introduced on screen, and we just never knew about. It's like that's. It's like it's crazy ridiculous sometimes with this stuff, but. Either way, it seems like Yosun Goku is a part of the continuity that Battle of Gods is. But then Super, they never reference that except for, I think maybe another movie. I don't know. It's weird. So, yeah. I don't know. I think I just broke my. I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? What does Marcellus Wallace look like? No. So it's really confusing. I know. My brain, it can't take it. I thought time travel was complicated. Then I learned what canon was. And I mean the one with one N in the middle, not two. Or three overall. Or however many people like to write. It's a canon. Like a, canonicity of, like a canon like the Bible. Not a canon like, please shoot me with a cannon because my head is going to blow up from thinking about this insanely complicated stuff. If pointing ears means that people from the demon realm, doesn't that mean Popo is also from the demon realm? He has pointing ears. Maybe. I mean, is Link from the demon realm? Are the elves in Lord of the Rings from the demon realm? That would explain Galadriel, especially in Rings of Power. What is it? Is Tapion from the demon realm? Maybe his planet was in the demon realm the whole time. That would explain Hoi, who is probably from the demon realm because he has pointy ears. I don't think Harudagarn has ears. Who else has pointy ears in this franchise? Most of the characters have weird, like, square ears that are aliens. Did Dr. Mew have pointy ears? I mean, he was like a weird Tuffle robot cyborg made by Baby. Even though Baby wasn't really alive to make him so that he can make Baby. I don't know. Who else has pointy ears in this franchise? What if they just have like a weird like genetic thing where they have pointy ears? Does that mean that they're descended from a demon or somebody from the Daima realm? Like everybody who just so happens to have elf ears in real life is descended from somebody from the demon realm. Are we going to get a crossover with Yu Yu Hakusho? And we're going to find out that before Abra, Deborah's grandfather was named Yomi. Oh, wait, no, not Yomi. I mean, maybe he wins the tournament at some point. Is his grandfather or great-grandfather was Ryzen? And Yusuke is going to show up at some point, and he's just going to like fight Goku and wreck him with his demon spirit Reiki energy. Let's do it. You mean Tarble, not Kaba? I don't fucking know at this point. I don't know what I said. My brain hurts from all of this. There's so much. Kaba is basically the super version of Tarble. So if I said Kaba, it's because I was thinking of that the whole time. Kaba is the other continuity's approximation of Tarble. Like he is the younger, smaller, like in this case, apprentice of Vegeta, basically like a younger brother. He looks very similar to Tarble. So Kaba is basically Tarble in Dragon Ball Super. Just not in Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. That's probably actual Tarble. Vegetable. He's the table in Vegeta is the Vegeta. It's like Botchamania. I am the Tarble. Sure, if Kanji's listening, he'll get that reference. So 3 might reference something like a galaxy or quadrant within Universe 7, not or Universe 7, not Universe 3. That doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they go? Like, Toriyama never wrote that quadrant thing. In none of his manga did he ever say quadrant once. Like, he just said galaxies. Toriyama's manga, there's like 4 galaxies. Like, there aren't 4 quadrants with like billions of galaxies in them or whatever guidebooks say. Yeah, Pilaf I could definitely see being a demon descendant. He could just be like a weird animal person. They kind of reference him being like a gremlin. I don't know. But gremlins, especially from the movie, makes sense that they would be from the demon realm. But it could be like Garlic Jr. He's definitely from there. I mean, it's not like a perfect episode, obviously. There are things that are questionable or like retcons or whatever have you. But, it's Dragon Ball. There's always going to be those in there. It's more about like how much good is there compared to the bad. And the baseline is definitely overwhelmingly good for me. You hate Kaba, bring back Tarble. I mean, Toriyama might do that for all we know. Toriyama might not count Tarble or Kaba as being a part of his canon. He shot him with a cannon because he's not a part of his canon. You see? Hey, 60 people watching. Can we get those likes up, please? That'd be awesome. I don't know if it does anything on YouTube, but hey, I think it does. I think it helps more promotion. Will Oolong get an arc? Yes, he'll go to the pig realm, and it'll be bacon for everyone. It'll be the bacon sausage arc. All right, hold on a second. I'll be right back. I got somebody at my door. got some food here. Alrighty. So I got some coffee earlier. Decided let's have a little bit more. And I got some food here. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a mukbang stream now. Dragon Ball mukbang. Dragon Ball Food Wars crossover. Let's see. Where can you watch the episode? Crunchyroll. That's where I watched it. I mean, that's the only place I'm going to say you can watch it. But, it's the internet. Internet will be internet. But, to try and not get my channel banned, don't recommend other locations here just in case. Thank you so much, Dark Cloud Uchiha. Are you related to Sasuke and Itachi and Madara? Madara, I know. I believe I could be wrong, just a theory. The demon realm is a reflection of the god hierarchy. So Supreme Kai, Demon Supreme Kai. Is there a Demon Grand Supreme Kai? Very possible. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they say that Shin is their brother, or at least what's his name? I forget his name, to be honest. I'm not the best with names, so I wrote it all down. But the brother of Shin is the one who's like the Supreme Kai who's hanging out with the Demon King, the new one. So yeah, maybe there's there's two Kaioshin in there. One of them is like a doctor for some reason. So I think that in the Tournament to Power, they give a little bit of backstory about one of the gods is like performs experiments and stuff. So like I could see it happening. Kind of like it's funny, like my own side story. My own side story or fan fiction or whatever you want to call it. I wrote and I had talked about in the other universes there could be there were angels and gods who are performing experiments on people to make like super soldiers and stuff. So, I would check if you want to see how I would have taken Dragon Ball Super or how I would, take the story in the future. I have my own mini arc I wrote on my channel where I explain it in depth, really long video, 50 minutes or so. And it's called Dragon Ball Super Universe Reborn arc. So that's kind of like where I would take it, and I cover a similar idea in that sense. I don't know what she does as a doctor, so I don't know. Maybe it'll be similar to that. She might. What do they say in Japan? I'm trying to remember. They always say something before they eat. Did he ever limit it to 4 in the manga? 4 what? What number in Universe 7? I don't know. I mean, the thing is too, like if some of you guys watched like fan subs and some of you guys watched on Crunchyroll, like I don't really know. I'm going to rewatch it. There was only one kind of issue with the subtitles I noticed at one point where they had made something singular instead of plural, but Japan, obviously they don't have plurality in their language. They just use different words. So it's sometimes hard for the subtitles. I will admit if, Crunchyroll's subtitles are incorrect, I don't exactly have Herms on speed dial. I've worked with him before and stuff, but I don't have Twitter. I got rid of my Twitter years ago and I'm much happier for it. My ex, X going to give it to you, but not me. Cause I got out of there. I had a chance to see DMX, and I messed up because I didn't do it. It was a very, it would have been like a cool concert because I would have been able to like see him close up because it was a small venue. I could have met him and everything, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it. What a shame. Oh well. So Xavier says Dodoria has long pointy ears. Also, from what I've seen, most casual DBZ watchers think Gohan sucks or is a little bitch. Yeah, they said the same thing about Future Trunks, and I I just wonder if empathy exists anymore. I mean, Gohan was like a little boy. He was originally Toriyama wrote him as 3, but then he changed it in the release of the manga to say 4 in the anime. That's another weird little change that was made. And so, yeah, like Gohan was 4 years old. He watched his dad get murdered in front of him. And then the guy who killed him, like, raised him. He threw him in the woods and made him fight a T-Rex. And, then he fought like a shorter, evil version of his dad. And I like how Goku makes a short joke about Vegeta in this episode. It's pretty funny. And he's like, "You looking for a fight, Kakarot?" And yeah, so he's like, "Oh, I guess Vegeta didn't grow too much." And he's like, "Are you trying to start a fight?" You know, and yeah. So I mean, especially compared to his dad was like his dad would have been like an NBA player. He was so tall. I guess Vegeta's mom was really small. So yeah, what is it? So yeah, like it's like, no, come on, dude. Like, do you see all the stuff Gohan went through? Like, why? Maybe he doesn't like. Why would you want to fight all the time? Like, if you weren't raised to do so. Like Goku, not only is he a pure blood Saiyan as the retcon, but he had to fend for himself in the woods. Like he was raised by a martial artist and trained early until he accidentally stepped on him. And, and so there was like all that stuff going on. It's like, it makes sense why Gohan wouldn't want to always fight, because his fighting for him wasn't that kind of experience that it was for his dad and for that generation. Like a lot of times Goku did fight life or death and so on, but he was also fighting for the purpose and the goal of the tournament. Gohan was so powerful even as like a 4-year-old that being in the tournament would have been pointless because he would just win instantly even as like a baby basically. So I mean, as a literal baby, as we saw in that filler episode where he flew through the tree and everything, like if you pissed him off, he wins that tournament. Like Mr. Satan ain't gonna do shit. Or whoever else was winning during the tournament. I mean, I think that they said the tournament was canceled for years until they revived it at some point after they blew up the ring in the Goku versus Piccolo and stuff. But yeah, it makes sense. Like if Gohan was trained early on by Goku and by Roshi and stuff and instilled the love of fighting, that he kind of waffles on a little bit in the super continuity, then it would make more sense. But it's like, how is somebody a bitch when they can like get angry and then blow up the universe because they're so mad and they get so powerful? It's like, can you blow up anything with your mind? If you can, is it possible to learn this power? Not from a YouTuber, but yeah. I mean, not from me. I don't know how to do anything cool like that. I can't even snap or whistle. What am I going to do? Teach you how to blow things up with your mind? Give me a break. A gaming chair for books flex. It's because I don't have any shelves. I got that chair for free. And it hurt my back a lot the last time I sat in it, so I'm not doing that anymore. Now my books can sit in it. I gotta read a lot though. Some of them I've already read, but I just literally have nowhere to put them. I mean, look, I don't know if you could see them from this angle. I can't see my stream right now. How's it actually been so far, guys? Has it stayed consistent with the quality? Because if so, I think I figured out the issue, which was my terrible internet software they forced me to start using because Kaspersky was mad at the government or something. And so, look at my bookshelf over there next to my Super Mario Kart and, with all the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff in there. You could barely see it, but there's just piles of movies in there that I've gotten on sale over the years. I just don't have anywhere to put them. Like I don't have I just can't, I don't have shelves. I want to get those cool ones I always see YouTubers have, like Chris Stuckman and stuff. Back when I used to watch them and everything, but it's like, I don't know where to get them and how much they cost and stuff. And, so I'm making do with what I have, which is a chair and, the floor. Like, I don't know if you could see my guitar and stuff, like behind it, there's more books. Some of these I think are probably worth money. It's just that I don't know where to put them, so hopefully they're not getting ruined. But I have some cool ones down there, like, I gotta get a knife. It's not a knife, this is a knife. That's a spoon. I see you've played Knifey Spoony before. But, you know, some of my favorite books are actually down here on the floor. Great job, Mike. I already went in depth into my Infinity War breakdown in one of my previous streams. You're only able to see if you're a member of the channel. If you become a member, you can see every single stream I've done, I think. They become members only. Here's one of my favorite books of all time. My original first edition copy of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets I got from Scholastic magazine when I was a kid. And, yeah, really great. I've been listening to them, at least, on audiobook recently. But yeah, I think I still have all of them on hardcover, but the only one I could find right now of my Part 7 is doesn't have the dust jacket, and I like those dust jackets. Let me go get a knife, and then we'll continue this. Hi, Danny. Want your treats? Let's go get them. Come on. Let's get your treats. That's not a knife. This is a knife. So yeah, let's see, where was I? Thank you so much, Xavier. You said, wish Yamcha and Krillin won a tournament off screen. I mean, that would have been funny to find out that Yamcha, like, he entered the tournament. Kind of like Yajirobe, he entered the tournament in his Lucha Libre mask and he got eliminated by Kami. I feel bad for Yajirobe in that scene. He's like, I'm going to win. I'm Yajirobe. Like, none of these weak human beings, like, I'm just like some guy who lived in the woods and I was able to kill one of Demon King Piccolo's children and eat him. Like, even though he was stronger than, like, everyone from the 21st tournament and maybe the 22nd. And he's like, I'm going to win. I'm just going to put a mask on so nobody's going to know it's me. And he just gets, like, eliminated in the preliminaries. And it's like, oh, well, I guess I'll go home. Nobody knows how embarrassed I am right now, And, so if Yamcha did the same thing and he, like, won a couple tournaments and nobody was looking, that would be great. But now, like, nowadays, it would be easy for him with regular people, obviously. But nowadays, it's like, they all want to maintain the lie that Mr. Satan keeps telling everyone that he's the champion, because I guess it's kind of like Dr. Manhattan trying to maintain Ozymandias' lie. He's like, it's for the betterment of the people and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it is interesting to think about, though. Like, let's say that at the end of the last tournament, like, we don't know who won that tournament, other than we know that, like, Boo or whoever would have thrown the fight to Mr. Satan. So it's kind of like, can you imagine Vegeta fighting Mr. Satan and then losing? Like, Vegeta of all people, like, fakes that he gets his ass kicked by Mr. Satan and like, and he, like, falls out of the ring. Like, how, like, that would be really funny. I mean, it's kind of like, would he actually do it, though? But, yeah, I could, it would be really funny. Because he was one of the people left over at the end who was still going to compete, I think. So it's like, did Vegeta throw the fight? Because I don't remember who they said actually ended up fighting him at the end, if they actually did. I mean, maybe one of them threw the fight against Boo and then he threw it to Mr. Satan, but still, Goku specifically said that any of them would throw the fight to Hercule, Mr. Satan, Mark at the end. with Dr. Uh, Arnisu? Maybe I spelled it wrong. I thought it was Anisu or whatever. Accidentally created Majin Buu originally, but that is why she wants to recreate the Majins. She made the Demon Grand Supreme Kai into Majin Buu, which is why the Grand Supreme Kai could fight him. I don't know. I don't think so. Like Toriyama, if he's writing the story completely, if he had written everything fully, he's probably going to go with the whole time in memoriam thing. But then again, if Toriyama's going to base it on his original manga, then that means that Babbidy's father, is the one who made Majin Buu. Like, you know, in an interview, he said that Buu had always existed since time immemorial, and thus as a result, like he would just kind of come into the universe from his deep hibernations and, you know, expel his energy that had been built up from the evils of like more mortals or whatever, and then go back. And then Bibbidi found a way to summon him. But, you know, we'll have to see if they expand that. It's just, they seem to be aware of it. They're shocked that Buu was defeated, but that's about it as far as I can tell. Yeah. Xavier, you said. Oh, wish Yamcha or Krillin won a tournament off screen. I don't know if I respond to that, but yeah, that would have been cool. Krillin, you know, he deserves it kind of at this point too. But, you know, it would, I mean, I'm surprised 18 doesn't pressure him into doing it more. But then again, I guess she kind of buys into the whole Mr. Satan thing too. But, you know, if Mr. Satan ever gets hit by a truck one day and they don't wish him back, then I'm guessing, you know, they'll push Krillin to win or something. 18's like, I need that money, Krillin. You better fight. Be a provider for our husband, for our family, or I'll kill you. It's like, okay, 18, I'm pretty sure you did that in a couple other timelines, so I'll do it. You know, but she wouldn't do it in this one. So yeah. Also, would Yajirobe eat Vegeta if Krillin killed him? Maybe. I mean, it wouldn't be cannibalism because he's a Saiyan, not a human. I mean, would Vegeta eat the humans if he, kind of like he did with those weird green people that him and Nappa had killed and were eating? Because he clearly eats aliens. Would he eat humans because he doesn't see them as Saiyans? Good question. Also, it raises some weird implications about how Vegeta views Bulma and the fact that, you know, he was willing to mate with her. But every time I talk about that, people unsubscribe, so I'm not going to now. Let's see. Humans got weaker in DBZ. Oh, hold on a second. I don't get how Satan could win tournaments where in Dragon Ball humans were stronger than Satan, like Nam and King Choppa. Did they get weaker in Z is what Alan Garcia said. No. So you gotta remember that characters like King Choppa, Nam, Jiren, they were like freaks of nature even among humanity. They're like the strongest ones. But then all of them ended up getting killed because they were on a list that were in the registry for the tournaments. And then Demon King Piccolo sent like Tambourine and his children to kill all of them. So as a result, they decide not to enter the tournaments anymore. So Mr. Satan just fought a bunch of like relatively good fighters, but none of them were on the level of those guys. Like, the fact that, like, remember, I did a video talking about how strong is Mr. Satan. You can see on my channel. Mr. Satan would lose to those guys because of the fact that even though like he has the gag feats, like where Boo pops him in the face and he's like not exploding, like when Fat Boo punched Bobbity, or where he gets slapped by Cell into a mountain, he survives. You got to remember when Goku tapped the gigantic man that looks like King Kong Bundy, not King Bong Bundy. That's that's like Cheech and Chong's version of the story or something. He like just tapped him. He's like, "Hey, I'm behind you." The guy went flying out of the ring. So when Goku actually tries to punch someone in that tournament, or Krillin does, like Nam and characters like that, and they don't like explode, that means that they're insanely powerful compared to regular humans, just like Goku and Krillin were. So any of them would basically do what Trunks did, where he held back a lot and he went, and Mr. Satan flew out of the ring and smashed into the wall. They would all do the same thing to him. So even Goku and Krillin from that first tournament would beat Mr. Satan. So like King Choppa would definitely win. Nam would win. Jiren, I mean, he's a monster who could use the merry-go-round or the whatever gum, I forget what it is in the Japanese in the manga. They would beat him. It's just that they didn't enter the tournaments anymore. Like Oob obviously would win, even when he doesn't channel his anger and the power of Boo within him. So yeah, it's just like Mr. Satan kind of got lucky in that sense. Mr. Satan survived a ki blast from Bojack. I don't remember that happening, to be honest. But I have to rewatch that movie soon. I actually want to, because I enjoy the movie. The biggest problem for me is Bojack himself, really. And to be honest, like if Bojack was a way more interesting villain, then that movie would be like 10 out of 10, basically. But he's just like one of the weaker villains. He's like Super Android 13. I know Android 13 gets by on the memes and he has a cool design and stuff, the English dub memes, especially with like, war, murder, don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut, Goku dies, stuff like that. People like that. They like he's an android. He gets like gigantically jacked and blue and red and stuff. Like, I get it. He's a more interesting villain than Bojack, because Bojack is like incredibly boring and his motivation makes no sense. It's like, Goku freed me from my enslavement by the Kais. How did that happen? But, we've been stuck in this realm for centuries. So in order to thank Goku, I'm going to kill him because I am the strongest. It's like, what? Okay. Sure. Why not? Like, it's really dumb, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense. But everything else about the movie is great. So, yeah, if Bojack was like a better villain with like a real motivation that made sense, and like, wasn't just like, I am strong, I am pirate, sort of, Gar. If Bojack said Yar after every sentence, much better villain. Where be Goku? Yar! Like, it would be like, okay, I like this character way more. Especially if he did in Japanese. Like, if it was like a JoJo character where he just spoke English half the time with like a Japanese accent, and then he ended all the sentences like, Watashi no Bojack, Yar! Like, it would be like, okay, this villain is amazing. I take everything back. But yeah, he didn't do that. So I don't really like his character. Like, if you replace Bojack with like, I don't know, almost any other Dragon Ball Z movie villain, he would be better. If they had just made the movie like, I don't know, Garlic Senior was the villain and everything else is the same, and like, I don't know, Garlic Senior he had the Makio superstar. I don't know, like he was training the whole time or something in that crystal. Then it would be a better movie. But I really like Gohan in that movie. I like the fact that he keeps training. He wants to stay strong. Like everything that Gohan fans wanted Gohan to be is after the Cell games is in that movie. Except for, he for whatever reason has to have Goku break the rules and teleport out of the afterlife and punch Bojack in the face and then remind him that he can go Super Saiyan 2 and just like punch a hole through this dude and beat him. But yeah, everything else is great. I mean, there are things that don't make sense, let's be honest, though. People say it fits perfectly in the timeline, but it's like, not really, because why are Goku and King Kai just like building a house on Snake Way and then he goes to the afterlife? Like, it doesn't really fit in with the timeline, that part. Like, they do explain that Trunks came back to visit, so there's that. But other than that, it's kind of like, yeah, like it's nitpicks in that case. Team 4-star Bojack has the ARG. Okay, well, clearly they did something right then in that version of the story. That's cool. Gotta give him props for making the pirate go ARG or YAR. I be Bojack, yar! I'm going to beat your ass, little boy, and then your father will show up and I will kick him off. I will send him down to Davy Jones' locker, yar! Like, he'd be a much better villain if he did that. If he just spoke like that every line, like if they just changed as much as I'm not like a big fan of the big dub changes and stuff, it's like if they just made him talk like that all the time, that would be the best ever. It'd be the best dub ever. I would like it a lot. Oh, thank you so much, Xavier, again. One of the best questions ever. We got FMK, Fuck, Marry, Kill, Super 13. Super Saiyan 13. That's not, wait, which franchise is that from? AF? No, Super Android 13, Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, and Full Power Bojack. Okay, so I'm going to kill Bojack because he's boring. Super 13. Okay, so despite all the videos I've made about Z Broly and stuff, I'm going to marry Broly and I'm going to fuck Super Android 13. Because Super Android 13 is still kind of a generic, mediocre villain, like aside from the funny dub stuff. What is it? Bojack, he's just boring and so he can die. And Broly, I don't know. I mean, hopefully it would be hopefully it would be a good marriage. I don't know. He's a better villain than all of them. At least Broly has a good backstory. Super Android 13 is kind of just like the computer just kind of released these androids after Jiro died, and they were inferior androids, I guess. But then I don't know, they become jacked android trucker hat man, redneck android. He's like Stone Cold android or something, but with hair. So it's Stunning Steve Austin trucker android. I don't know. Yeah, ECW Stone Cold. Full Power Bojack is just really boring. I mean, like he becomes golden. He's basically Golden Frieza, but not Frieza, and he didn't train for 4 months. He trained for, I don't know, 4 centuries, and lost to a little boy, but no. And Broly, well, I don't know. He's the legendary Super Saiyan. He has a direct connection to Goku. Like, whatever you want to say about Broly as a villain in those first movies, he's a better villain than either of the other two by far. I've learned to appreciate Broly more as time has gone on. He's much better in the first movie than the second. And he's definitely better than the third movie that, we don't really talk about. Some people actually like the third movie, though. I am not one of them. I think it's just kind of a worse World's Strongest, but with Broly, but he's made of diarrhea. The Broly, Bio Broly. I don't even remember what it's called in Japanese. Some people like Bio Broly as a movie more than they like Second Coming, and that's not me, Chief. What are you doing, Penny? Come here. Come on. Why are you going to go on the desk? What are you going to do up there? There's no room for you up there. So Bojack is canned to Daima. I don't think so. Maybe it's because I'm talking about Bojack right now. You think I'm talking about him in relation to Daima. No, somebody just brought him up. And Xavier asked me FMK, Bojack, Super Android 13, and Broly from the Z movies. So I had to go with Broly. I mean, I prefer Super Broly overall. That's one of the things I think Super made better. But, you know, he doesn't have as cool of lines as Z Broly, at least, you know? For whatever, you know, say what you will about Z Broly. I know I'm a Broly fanboy and defender nowadays, but he had some cool lines in that first movie. You know, in the second, in the Dragon Ball Super Broly, his best lines when he transforms are "ah" and but in Dragon Ball Z Broly, his lines are "oh, where do you think you're going, Dad? Oh, I was just preparing our spacecraft, son, for our escape in a rocket built for one." "Oh no, how has destiny conspired to kill me? Ah!" And of course, "oh, I see you all looking up toward your planet. I bet you dream about going back there someday. Well, it's just a dream." Then he blows up their planet in front of them. And they just like never wish that planet back either. They never use the Dragon Balls in that movie. So every single person that Broly kills, he blew up their planet, never gets wished back. One of the many horrible things that happens to people in Dragon Ball Z continuity, especially in the anime and in the movies, they never undo. Like, Gohan blew up Garlic Jr.'s planet. Like, how many Garlic Jr. people, Makaioshin, were in that, or Makais, or demons, or whatever the hell he's supposed to be, were on that planet when Gohan blew it up in front of him. Like, damn, dude. Like, Gohan didn't want to kill a bug. You know, he wouldn't even hurt a cricket. But he blew up a planet, which might have been populated at the time. We don't see anyone, because they didn't want to show Gohan exterminating an entire species. But, you know, they might have been hiding or sleeping. And Gohan blew that up right in front of Garlic Jr.'s face. And then he fell into a black hole again, because even though Garlic Jr. is immortal, and he could just stand there menacingly and win, he's really dumb. And so he keeps activating the only way for him to lose. Like, they could never, like, I guess they could use the Mafuba on him. And this time just make totally sure he wouldn't get out. Like, throw him in the hyperbolic time chamber and just, like, blow the door up or something. But, you know, he's like, "I am so awesome. I will style on these guys by opening up the only way to defeat me, and I'll still beat them. Oh God, I'm defeated by my only weakness, myself." You know, it's like that meme, "Never trust up anybody, even yourself," with the guy like pointing the gun at behind him and stuff. And it's like, that's basically Garlic Jr.'s whole character. I could win anytime, but I'm so dumb I lose. I mean, to be fair, that's most Dragon Ball Z villains, but, you know, Garlic Jr. especially, it's like there's literally no way for him to lose, but he still loses because he's an idiot. Like, he should have asked Shenron to increase his intelligence instead of making him immortal, because at least then he wouldn't be trapped in a black hole dimension for all eternity. And also a manlet that, you know, Harold would point out. Now, why didn't he turn into a manlet in the first movie when the the Makio planet, aka star in English, wasn't anywhere near him. I don't know. Let's not think about it. Hopefully Garlic Jr. comes back. Like, Garlic Jr., like, talk about off-screen training. Garlic Jr. has been off-screen training in, like, a black hole dimension for, like, I don't know, 20 years now. Like, he's got to be strong by now. Like, he's got to be strong enough to break himself out of that dimension by now, right? Like, he's got to be able to train in there. Like, he's not just, like, I don't know, like, just doing nothing, right? Like, how long does it take Garlic Jr. to get strong enough to where he's as strong as he was when he first broke out of the dimension? Like, you know, it's got to be long enough by now, especially with super continuity. Like, you know, Gohan trains off screen Piccolo for a day, and he goes from, like, however strong he was to, like, punching Goku to become Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. You know, he punches him hard enough, and he goes Kaioken. And then, like, you know, Android 18 punches poachers and maybe Cell Juniors in the manga for years, and he is stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken at the start of the tournament. And, you know, at the end of the tournament in the manga, Goku still says that 17 is stronger even after Goku went Ultra Instinct Master. And it's like, what? How? You know, so Garlic's got, you know, Garlic is due for Garlic 3. Like, let's do it. Let's do it, Toriyama. That's what Daima is leading to. Garlic Jr. returns. Path, the dark side of the Force. Wait. The dark side of the Dead Zone is a pathway that leads to many abilities that some consider to be unnatural. Somehow Garlic Jr. survived, or somehow Garlic Jr. returned. That's what we need. That would be the greatest cliffhanger in Dragon Ball history. You know, just like Garlic Jr. returns. I'm gonna beat Gohan. But Gohan's like, you know, he stopped fighting again. He you know, you didn't need to train all those years to beat him. You could have just like waited him out. I mean, you could wait everyone out. Garlic Jr. is gonna win because he just is gonna like chill in the Dead Zone, and everyone he ever knew dies. He's just gonna be there until like the dimension decays. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe he's like, you know what? I don't have to do anything. I'll just like chill here in the black hole, Dead Zone. I think it's just called a black hole in Japanese. But like, I'm gonna chill here in the Dead Zone, the dimension of darkness, for like 10 quadrillion years until like the dimension like decays to where I could just like get out, and everyone in existence is dead, and I win because I just, you know, I chilled. Good plan. Why didn't Zamasu swap bodies with Garlic Jr.? There's the real question. Because then he would have had an immortal body without wishing for it. He would have had, you know... He should have asked Uno about that. Okay. Oh, here we go. Thank you so much, Xavier, again. Wow. Fuck, marry, kill. Lord Chilled, King Cold, and Frost. I mean, come on, dude. You shouldn't have even put King Cold in there. You know I'm going to pick him. Okay, I'm going to marry King Cold, obviously. I mean, it's, you know, it's my channel. Like, I mean, why wouldn't he be my husbando or whatever, whatever. I'm going to kill Chilled and I don't know, fuck Frost, right? Chilled is just like the worst version of them all. He just exists so that Bardock can kind of get revenge on Frieza without getting revenge on Frieza. Hi, Penny. All right. So who would win, Xavier asks? Super Saiyan Rage Trunks or Golden Frieza? Thank you so much for your super chat again. Trunks. I mean, which arc are we talking about? I think that in either one of the manga or the anime, Trunks would win. Yeah. Trunks would stomp as Rage Golden Frieza from Resurrection F. It wouldn't even be a fight. Because remember, that was like Trunks, I mean, Trunks, who knows with super scaling, Trunks might be able to beat him before he goes Rage because he was able to kind of spar against and get the better of Goku Black as Rose when he was just Super Saiyan 2 in that fight with him and Goku against the two of them. So yeah, like Trunks would be able to beat Frieza as Rage in Resurrection F, and I would say he'd be able to beat him in the Tournament of Power too. Because Trunks, remember, like Trunks was able to fight against Merge Zamasu before he got gifted the power of Goku and Vegeta, that what was left over, and before he got the Spirit Bomb sword, the Genki sword, the Spirit sword. So yeah, Trunks would wreck Frieza. Like he would just use, there was a million ways that he beat him. Like he would use the Mafuba that he learned on his cell phone. He would just get angrier and more powerful because he's like Super Saiyan Hulk, except he's not Broly. Even though Broly was based on Trunks, funny enough, like his design. Even the guide where they talk about all that, like references that's like Super Saiyan grade 3, but just without the lack of speed, basically. And then for Broly's legendary form, I mean. And then, yeah, Trunks is going to wreck Frieza, except for Black Frieza. And then Trunks, you know, by the time that Frieza becomes black, you know, Trunks probably trained with himself and got some new form off screen. And then he fused into Trunks 2. Trunkus 2 for their own Tournament of Power. I don't know. Dokkan made me totally forget Clash of Clans. I forgot about that game. I never really play those types of games. What about Hot Yak? What about Hot Yak? Definitely stronger than the new Namekian based on the size. Wait, what are we talking about? Which one? The demon ones that they're stronger? I mean, the demon ones, aside from the Super Dragon Balls, which are, as far as we know, literally omnipotent. I mean, they wished back wait, what was it? How many universes got raced in the Tournament of Power? 6 or 7? I forget, to be honest. I think it was 8 universes were participating. So 7 universes, the Tournament of Power were wished back. I mean, they undid multiversal, basically, erasure that Zeno himself did. So the Super Dragon Balls are implied to at least be equivalent in power to Zeno. So Zalama has to be at least somewhere comparable, you'd think, to Zeno. So, like, obviously those are the most powerful Dragon Balls, period. Like, I don't care if Neva might have invented Dragon Balls and knows more about them than anyone aside from Zuno, obviously. Like, you know, his can't be stronger than literally limitless, omnipotent Dragon Balls. So, yeah, I'm sure they're the strongest ones so far in other than Super's continuity. Yeah, funny, in the dub, Trunks called Broly a toothpick. I remember referencing that in one of the earlier Herald videos. Especially in the manga. Didn't he match God in Super Saiyan 2? No, he matched Super Saiyan 3 in his Super Saiyan 2. And it was implied he could have actually been stronger because Goku, in order to finish off Trunks, went Super Saiyan God real quick and kicked him in the back of the head. So, yeah, like he, I mean, I'm thinking of the first fight though, to be fair. Like maybe he, maybe I'm not remembering, but later on when he's fighting against like Goku Black and stuff, he might have been stronger or equivalent to the God form in the manga. In the anime, he's way more powerful than Super Saiyan God because Goku as a Super Saiyan Blue is struggling against Goku Black. And then here comes Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, who just like image trained for like 30 seconds and fought Vegeta one time as Super Saiyan Blue. And he like stops Goku Black's hit with his sword. And then the two of them fight each other like hand to hand, and Trunks gets the better of Goku Black, who was Rose at the time, and kicks him into a building. So it's like, if Goku Black was really vastly more powerful than Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, at any point he could have just like flexed on him and wrecked him right then and there. But he didn't. He got temporarily like whooped into a building. So, you know, that's Trunks. His power doesn't make any sense. And then he just like gets a new form out of nowhere. I mean, he channeled his master Gohan. So yeah, Daima is really awesome so far. I'm liking it a lot. Did you guys tell me what you think? Have you all seen Daima? Let me do a poll real quick, actually, as a matter of fact. I haven't done one of those in a little bit. Let me put that up there right now, guys. Wait for it. I'm going to give you guys a poll. Pause. How do I do this? Here we go. Start a poll. Did you like... Or wait, actually, how about this? How would you rate Daima episode 1? Let's see how many options they give me. They only give me 4 guys, so don't ask why there's only... I'm sure somebody will who isn't listening to this part right now. But let's see. Let's just do it out of 4 stars then. So 4, 3, you know, Frieza's favorite number of stars. 2, and Goku's 2 as well, funny enough, in 1. So obviously 4 is the best, 1 is the worst. So how would you rate Dragon Ball Daima episode 1? Go. Out of 4 stars, let's say each of them is, I don't know, 2.5. So 2 would be like average. 1 would be bad. 3 would be good. And 4 would be great. It's going to be great. So let me know what you think. Curious to hear like what's the good and what's the bad. Like opinions on this. Like why, you know, why do you think it's really good or great? And why do you think it's really bad or just all right? It's all right. I mean, it's all right. You know, are you going to be like Homelander? It was perfect. Everything down to the last detail. Perfect. Or you could be like, what is it? It's the GOAT. Or you're going to be like, I mean, it's all right. Or you're going to be like, what is it? What's like the bad one? The bad meme. No, I don't know. Yeah, Trunks learned how to break the power scale from Gohan, but who breaks the power scale worse, Gohan or Frieza? That's a real question, I think. That's the real fight of breaking the power scale. I mean, Broly's up there too, let's be fair. Like, Broly didn't need to train. He just went from... I mean, the fact that he was already equivalent in some way, or even approaching the power of the base Saiyans when they meet him, is already insane enough as it is, because they're insanely, absurdly powerful when they meet him, like God form and up, based upon the continuity in just their base forms. They could destroy the universe in their base, and Broly's like fighting Vegeta. But the fact that he just gets angry and gets new forms, and then is like able to fight against Blue Gogeta on his own. And Gogeta's like still trying to beat him. Like, it's not like he one-shots him. Like, he still is hitting him with really powerful attacks and gets surprised. You know, I know that Blue lets him hold back a lot and key control, etc., etc. But like, he still is trying. Like, he still charges up a long time for that Kamehameha that he's going to kill him with at the end. And then, you know, he doesn't. I guess that was Vegeta's idea. Let's just kill him, Kakarot, you know, because Goku is like, I'm not going to kill him. And then Gogeta, I guess, is like, you know what? I will. Like, there's no way he was going to fire a blast that strong. They charged for that long as Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta when Broly was like getting less angry and not kill him. So he just decided to murder Broly now. I mean, it was self-defense. I wouldn't count that as murder. It wouldn't hold up in a court of law. But, you know, he was going to kill him. And then he decided not to. So Broly Gohan and Frieza. Maybe I'll do a video about that. Or not a video. I mean, I guess I could. Maybe I'll do a poll on my channel. I haven't done one of those in a long time, actually. So I honestly keep forgetting to do polls on my channel. So let me do that right now, guys. You guys, I think I'll just give you guys credit for me coming up with that idea because I don't remember if I did or not. So I'll just say that I did, or I'll say that you gave me the inspiration. You're my inspiration. Thank you so much, guys. Also, for some reason I just went into the live streaming thing again. It says the same weird issue. Are you guys getting buffering? Because it doesn't, let me go into my OBS. I don't know. Have you guys been getting buffering at all? What time did the episode start? I don't know. Because I thought it was supposed to come out today at 2:30 Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time in the United States. But I looked at like 2-ish and it was already out. But I had to, I went out and was doing stuff earlier, just having like a nice kind of timeout and stuff. So I decided to review and watch the show and stuff when I got home. I think like I finally was able to at like 4-ish or 5, I don't know, something like that. So yeah, I think it came out sometime early afternoon today, but you guys can let me know. I live on the East Coast. East Coast, Beast Coast, I think Phantom said. I don't know if he's been in my stream at all today. I haven't seen Phantoms. I haven't seen Cemetery Hill. I haven't seen some of the other people, but Xavier, he's showing up strong. We got a lot of you guys in here that are new or first time that I'm seeing you. Dark Cloud Uchiha, you've been here in the stream a little bit, so I recognize your name. Soundwave 190, I think I've seen you in the comments. Anime Wave. Hopefully I haven't argued with any of you in my comments. I try not to. Sometimes I get a little too heated, but I'm doing my best. We're all human beings. So if I ever get in like an actual like heated argument with any of you in the comments, don't take it personally. Maybe I was having a bad day, and I'm working on it. Trust me. So let's see. Who breaks the power scaling more? Question mark. Alrighty. So I'm going to put Gohan, Future Trunks, Broly. Who's a good fourth option? A lot of you guys I recognize your names, by the way, like Anime Wave, everyone like that. But yeah, I'm not always the best with names. Sometimes it takes a while for me to remember your name, so nothing personal. By the way, let me know if I'm buffering at all. Just be like, Mike, it's fine. Mike, it's bad. I don't know. But who's a good option for number 4? Should I just do 3, or is there a good fourth option? Because I got Gohan, Future Trunks, Broly, and oh, it was buffering before again. That's weird. Also, let me know if my voice starts to go robotic at all. Oh, that's sad. Xavier. Hopefully he and everybody down there in Florida right now is doing well. I know that you guys who live in Florida are getting hit by storms really hard from Milton. So prayers going out to Florida. I pray everything is going well for you guys there, and you'll be not too much damage, and you guys will be able to recover in no time. So yeah, I used to live there about a little over 20 years ago now. I don't think we got any too many bad storms down there when I lived there. I only lived there for a few years, but you know, they get hit hard. I worked with some realtors who were in Florida on the West Coast, and then it was like a little bit after like that hurricane was like wrecking a lot of it there. So, you know, everything goes out to you guys. Let's see. I might just do these three. Beerus. Maybe that's a good one. Maybe that's a good one. Because I'm going to do Gohan, Trunks, Frieza, or Gohan. Wait. Gohan, Trunks, Frieza, and Bro. Oh, I already have 4. I guess I didn't. Did I say Frieza? Because, yeah, I guess I have 4 then. Wow, I need to learn how to count. Jeez, I really am a Dragon Ball fan. Gohan, Trunks, Frieza. So, damn it. It doesn't look like it's buffering on my end. So, Beerus or Broly? Yeah, I'm doing Gohan, Trunks, Frieza, and then somebody else. Universe 6 girl? Who's that? Oh, Kale? I don't know. She doesn't do as much as like regular Broly. Hey, I got over 2K on my newest Daima review. Thank you so much, guys. That was my goal for the video, and we passed it. Awesome. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys tuning in for the stream too. We've at the peak of the stream today, we had like over 60 people watching. That's great. And 64 in Nintendo, one of my favorite consoles. So it's awesome. And let me I was gonna do Broly. Fuck it. So I'll do. Thank God I'm not in Florida. I would never go there. I like Florida. I'm gonna be. I liked Florida when I lived there. It was a cool place. Not literally. It was pretty warm there. But I liked it there. I'll be, like I always hear people like there's a lot of stuff that like trashes Florida a lot of times and stuff. But for me, I really enjoyed living there. It was a cool place. It was a very chill place. And I went there last year. I was staying in on the West Coast. I stayed in. I was living for like a couple weeks in July. I stayed in Venice. And I was in that like West Coast area driving around and stuff. I was in a car that didn't have air conditioning, but to be fair, my car here doesn't have it either. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I liked it there. It was nice. That's one of the states I've considered moving to in the past again. But the thing is like housing prices are terrible right now in America. Unfortunately, it's so expensive. Like I just can't, I don't think I'll ever be able to buy a house, but I got my house here I live in, and at least I got a house, at least I got a roof over my head. So I can't have too many complaints there, so gotta appreciate what I have. And, thank God for that. In Central Florida, terrible floods here. My brother got hard over in St. Pete. Yeah, I've been to St. Pete. I remember actually like 5-6 years ago, I was driving on that bridge that goes into St. Pete, or, that goes to Clearwater. And there was a thunderstorm and everybody was stopping on the bridge and stuff. So that was rough. That was some of the worst. That's some of the worst weather I've ever had to drive in. But, it was, fortunately, we were all fine. There were no accidents or anything. When I was going to Vegas this year, though, I was on the Whitestone Bridge, something like that in New York. And there was like a car that like exploded, and so there was like fire and like tons of smoke, and the fire trucks couldn't even get past on the bridge. So it was bad. I was glad I left hours in advance. I always try to get to the airport like 2 hours before I have to take off, just in case. And usually I get through TSA pretty quickly. I got the pre-check and stuff, which is definitely worth the money if you ask me. It's only $70 for like 2 or 3 years. That's definitely worth it, because I hate the airport. It's like every time you go on for me, it's like if our life is like a game, the airport and stuff is like a loading screen. Like you gotta really load that new area you're going to. So, yeah. I've definitely driven or been driven through some really difficult situations in the past, let's say. Victor Vega. Mike, who do you like more, Broly Kale or Super Broly? Super Broly. He's, for me, he's Broly, but he has more development. Like he has more humanity. I mean, he's an alien monkey creature that can blow up planets when he gets mad, but he has more like humanity to him. So I prefer that Broly overall. Like that was the thing I said with the movie when I reviewed it. I did my review with Josh from Dragon Ball Nation. You could check it out on my channel. And I gave the movie a 8.5 out of 10. He gave it a 9.5, which, I was like, fine. I could see why he would do that. And my number one thing, or one of them, was that it made a version of Broly that I actually really liked. I was cool with him. He wasn't as cool when he transformed as the other one, in the sense of like actually like dialogue and, stuff like that. But he, the movie is a great visual spectacle. So I really like that movie. For me, it's a really good to great, I really like a great, 8.5, obviously. So really great Dragon Ball Z movie. Dragon Ball Super in that case, obviously. Trying to just find pictures from my poll right now, and I'm going to put it up on the channel. Right now, on the stream, Daima is getting 4 stars is the number one, followed by 3 stars, and then followed by 1 star, and then 2. So, yeah, I would love to hear why you guys voted what you did. Why? For me, it's like the most interesting is going to be the people who don't like it. Because, I like it. Most people seem to like it a lot. So it's like, why don't you like it? Let me know, because that's the most interesting perspective to me right now, because it's kind of like, well, I would like to know more. I mean, it could just be people trolling. That happens too. But it's like, tell me more. I'd love to know. Tell me why, tell me why. Okay, so we got Gohan, Torankusu. All right. Now I gotta find a good picture of Frieza. I overused the one from Dragon Ball P, so I'm not gonna use that one this time. Even though I love that picture, it's really funny. I actually have, you know what? I don't know. I feel like it's good. I feel like people are going to definitely vote for it, though. Like people are going to pick that picture because it's so ridiculous. But I did the Dragon Ball P, and I made like a golden Frieza in that style. So I might have to choose that. It's just a really funny picture, and I really like it. So let's see. So speaking of Broly, let me actually show you guys something. I don't know if I'm ever going to do a video about this, but I think it's cool to show you guys this. Let me do that right now. Let me go on my OBS. So I gotta show you a different screen. I was gonna change my crop again. I always have to do this. Oh no, I'm being crushed. Like Broly crushed his dad. Here we go. Wait, is that it? No. 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 The hell? Why can't I show you this picture? All right, here. So look at this. Speaking of Broly, this is what the guide says about Super Saiyan 2 and also Gohan and Broly. So according to this, the strongest transformation is Super Saiyan 2, grade 5 is what it was called when it first came out. And then what does it say down here about Broly? A Super Saiyan that has achieved a different evolution. A lot of fans don't really like when you use the word evolution with Dragon Ball. Especially when you put Dragon Ball in front of it. Let's see. So Broly appeared in the movie, and here's the Japanese movie, which they're always really long and just like weird. Burn up, a red hot, raging, super fierce fight. Very catchy in America for sure. Although his final form resembles Super Saiyan grade 3, his speed is beyond first class. I know this was X-Men. So beyond first class. So that's, I don't know if that's just like it's just saying it's really fast, or if it's saying that's faster than like, I don't know, the initial Super Saiyan or grade 4. You could say that this Super Saiyan has achieved a different evolution from Goku and the others. Translated by Herms. Shout out to him. You know, he always does a great job. He's the one who came up with the Omni King name that they used in the English dub. So, Super Saiyan grade 5, strongest form. So, Super Saiyan 2 is a stronger form, according to this guide, than Legendary. Now, with that being said, when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 in order to fight against Broly in the movie, and then Broly goes Legendary on top of his Super Saiyan, it's still basically the same power difference that there was before that. Base Gohan was fighting against Super Saiyan Broly, and Broly had a little bit of an advantage over him. It was basically the same thing that we saw when red-haired Super Saiyan Broly, I guess, fought against Goku in his base form in the first movie. So Broly got a little bit stronger. Gohan was stronger as well after unlocking Super Saiyan 2 in his his power went up in his base and everything too with his hidden potential, but then it went down from that point in the movie. You know, bear with me. It's Dragon Ball scaling at that point in the series is like really convoluted. And so it seems like they both have the same multiplier from their previous form. Super Saiyan 2 is 100 times boost from base, or, you know, whatever at that point in the series. I know in the guide it says 100, but still, twice Super Saiyan, you could try and make the argument of like, you know, whatever, Super Saiyan grade 4 is higher than 1 and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, basically, they seem to have the same power, the same multiplier, from everything you could see in that movie relatively. Like, Broly is still definitely stronger than Gohan at that point, but Gohan is put into an advantage, or Gohan is at the point where Broly has him, like, he's basically dead to rights in a sense, where he has his arms behind his back and he has his knee in Gohan's back, but Gohan can still get out of it, which goes to show that Gohan must not be that far behind Broly in terms of pure strength output. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to do that. Broly would just kill him because he had all the leverage on his side. So, you know, Gohan's BS power scaling aside. I can't find this picture, of course. The one I was going to use. Oh, there we go. There we go. Awesome. All right. So Gohan, Future Trunks, Frieza, and Broccoli. So, let's see if I can find that picture, probably. And then I'm going to post it on my community tab, and you guys can let me know by voting on there. Also, I'll check the chat in a second and see if you guys let me know about why you voted the way you did in the poll on the stream. So I'm curious to hear why you either love or hate the newest episode of Daima. I think for me, I'm definitely more... I mean, it doesn't need to be extreme. It could be you love it, you think it's pretty good, you think it's mediocre, or you don't like it at all. Gotta let me know. I'm just curious. I'm curious for all of them. And post. Okay. Who breaks power scaling more? Gohan, Future Trunks, Frieza, or DBS Broly? Go! Ike! I'm not going to check it for a little bit. All right, so let me check the chat. Oh, thank you so much, Xavier. Fuck, marry, kill. Champa, 19, and Majin Buu. Oh, God. Oh, Harold, fuck, marry, kill. And that's going to be tough. Let me go see if I could wake up Harold real quick, and I'll let you know in a second. It's not buffering anymore, right? It's not Jimmy buffering. All right, 1 second. I'm just checking my comments too. I got a good amount of comments on this Daima video too. Thank you guys so much. You know, let's see, 2,300 views so far. It's great. Yeah, it's what is it? 111% of what I was looking for. So I don't know math. Math could be hard. So yeah. Let me go wake Harold up real quick, and he'll give you an answer, Xavier, and then I'll read the rest of the chat. What the hell is this? Oh, why'd I get waken up? I'm trying to get my beauty sleep for my gains. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, so Xavier, you think you're a god? What are you, the god of scrawniness? No, but okay. All right. So, let's see. You want me to fuck, marry, kill? Okay, hopefully it's like Kia Khalifa and the Woman of Wonderful Muscle. Oh God, no! Champa, the fat cat god of McDonald's. Android 19, the fattest android of them all. And then Majin Boobs, fat. It's simple. If it jiggles, it's fat, and he's nothing but jiggling. Disgusting. All right. Who? Well. Well, out of the three, who would I kill the most? Obviously, I would kill the Champa, because the fact is that he's had millions of years to get in shape, but he can't even walk a mile without sweating and being out of breath. I mean, neither can I. That's because I'm on the gear. Well, not really. I retcon that. But Champa, he's just fat. But at least he has a nice waifu with him. I can only imagine what she does for him off screen. And then I would fuck the 19, because he's a robot, so he's probably, you know, very, very well equipped for pleasure. Like in Fallout, you know, you get the robot and you make him into a pleasure model, and you got to test him. Plus, Android 19's fat is mechanical, so it's, you know, it's not natty fat. He didn't eat McDonald's for 1,000 trillion years like Champa. So he's got to get the muscular D. I guess I'm gonna marry the Majin Buu, because not only is he pink, but also I saw him become Fit Buu. I mean, when he trained with the Mr. Hercules Satan, a man so muscular, he crosses over 2 different mythologies. And then, of course, not just that, but also he became the Fit Buu. I mean, look at those muscles, the biceps, the triceps, and especially those abdominals. You know, he went from having more chins than a Chinese phone book to having more abs than me when I actually don't try. When I'm at 1% or something like that. Yeah. All right, thanks, Harold. Bye. Jeez. All right. Yeah. So Harold, I guess he gave you his thoughts. I mean, they weren't necessarily the most PC, but Harold never really has been. Harold isn't a big fan of Dragon Ball Daima, though, to be honest. He prefers Dragon Ball Muscles. It's like, you know, he wants the gains, as he said. Okay, so did I post the poll? Yeah, go over to my community tab. You can check it out. Mayor McCheese. Don't miss your super chat. I think I answered it right. Do you think that this idea, Dragon Ball rewritten with Z, Daima, and Super in a cohesive way, could they do that? I mean, I'm sure that there's ways to make it fit, but you know, will they? I don't really know. Between Hurricane Helen and Milton, it's been a rough year. Yeah, I forgot about that first one. Hopefully everybody's there is doing all right. It's only one reason I don't like Daima. It feels like it's missing something, but hey, next Friday. That was a pretty good movie, Next Friday. But yeah, it's missing something. I'm not sure what. I mean, it's the first episode, so we don't really know. But you know, I'll be going more in depth in everything with each episode. You know, I'm doing my review and predictions, like I did with the Dragon Ball Super anime when that was coming out. At first I did review videos and predictions videos, but then I decided to start doing them review and predictions, and I think they actually did better that way. Plus, I didn't have to make 2 videos. You know, so yeah. Every time a new episode comes out, I'm probably going to be doing a review and predictions video. It's cool. It's a nice throwback on the channel. I don't know how many of you guys have been here since I reviewed the Dragon Ball Super anime and you used to watch those, but, you know, we'll see how it goes. It was more base DBS Saiyan level to Jiren level in 30 minutes. Still massive improvement, but not as big as it could be. What do you mean? He went from in his base form being on par with Saiyans and their bases who are stronger than a guy who punched the universe until it almost didn't exist anymore. And, well, they punched each other and the universe almost didn't exist, to being equivalent to some level of Super Saiyan something with a fusion of 2 characters after they fought Jiren in the tournament. They were way stronger than Jiren. Like I would have to say that Broly in Dragon Ball Super Broly would beat Jiren based upon his performance against Gogeta. Like Gogeta had to try as a Super Saiyan Blue to beat him. Like the fusion multiplier and then all of the other multipliers on top of it aren't going to lose to whatever the multiplier of Ultra Instinct is. That wouldn't, I don't think that really makes sense. And plus Jiren got extra angry. So, you know, he was able to match up to the power of Ultra Instinct at points. So I definitely think that Broly would beat Jiren in that movie. You could argue Cell Max would too. And Beast Gohan and Golden Piccolo. Orange Piccolo and then Yellow Piccolo, maybe? I don't know. Hey, Golden Scouter, how's it going? You liked it? What about you? I thought it was really good. I did my review on my channel if you want to check it out. I don't know if you saw that I upload that. I thought it was a really good episode. I broke down some of the things that seems like, you know, it's really interesting, the continuity and the canon of the story and how Toriyama seems to have been like ignoring or contradicting things that happened in Super, like the origin of the Dragon Balls and the origin. It's not a direct contradiction of anything with the Namekians, but like that's like I said, it's more of a retcon of addition, of inclusion or exclusion in a sense. Like kind of like Goku being a Saiyan. They never said specifically what Goku's race or whatever was when in Dragon Ball, but he wasn't intended to be a Saiyan. That was a retcon in that sense of addition. And it's kind of like the Namekians being from the demon realm is kind of also a retcon, but in a way that like it doesn't necessarily contradict anything. You could see, maybe you wouldn't like the creative idea. It's kind of like, I don't know about that, but I think it's like, well, it's fine for right now. We'll see. It's weird. There are weird things with some of the changes Toriyama made or additions he added and stuff, but we'll kind of see where things go. Like the gas that defuses instead of like the hour time limit, things like that. Like those are the things that, it's like contradictions and everything along those lines. But, we'll see. Overall, I think it's really good. Great animation. The music's fine so far. The intro music that we heard at the end, that's kind of a thing that happens with anime nowadays. Like the first episode, they usually play the OP at the end of the first episode. I guess maybe it could be the ED and then we'll see the OP at the start of the next one. But usually they do that and then we'll get the ED at the end of the second episode. It's just something that anime does, I've noticed with all the newer anime I watch. But yeah, one of the best first episodes, I think, of any of the Dragon Ball series. I think it's a better episode than the first episode GT. I think it's a better episode than the first episode of Super. I think you could argue it's a better episode than the first episode of the original Dragon Ball, and a better episode than the first episode of the original Z anime, but I have to rewatch it. I think that might still be the best one. Because the fact that, we get the introduction of Raditz, I think at the end of that episode, but, for Kai, like for instance, we get more of like the manga pacing there. The only thing is I don't like the first like 5 minutes of the first episode of Kai, because I don't think that they should have shown Goku's backstory from the Bardock movie at the start of Kai. That is like something that kind of spoils it for people. And it shouldn't have been, I feel like they shouldn't have shown it there. Like, it should have been more of like the Raditz introduces it and stuff. And then you could see that at another point. We didn't. So yeah, overall, with regard to that, like the first episode of Z or Kai probably is the best, I guess. But I would say this is like the second best. Oh, cool. You've been following me for 2 years. I appreciate that. I don't know how much of a delay there is on my stream right now. I know sometimes it's been buffering, but, hopefully you guys are bearing with it. First episode of Seer Kai probably is the best, I guess. So there's some kind of delay, but let's see. I do have it in ultra low latency, but sometimes it's buffering. Like right there. I think I'm probably going to wrap up the stream though, guys. I've been streaming quite a while. I don't really want to make it to the 3-hour mark today. Trying to have a more chill time. I've been streaming a lot recently in the past month or two because the fact that like, I was like trying to really get back on, getting the algorithm again, trying, overcome that kind of like lull period that YouTube usually does this time of year for my channel. I took a month off, and then it kind of seemed like it shifted everything over in terms of the lull down period for me. So, it'd be great if this month and onward we have more improvement, but it is what it is on YouTube. But let me thank everybody so much right now. Victor Vega rejoined as a member, and also super chatted. Thank you so much. Hugo Welty, Edwin J. Garcia, Xavier, always super generous. Thank you for all your chats. Dark Cloud Uchiha, thank you so much. And yeah, thank you for everyone who just joined in and watched today, who liked, who commented. All of it helps and all of it is appreciated. The poll is with the winner is 4 stars for Daima episode 1, 63%, 324, 1, 7, and 6% for 2 stars. So let's see. I guess it changed right as I hit end. And then let's see. When's the next Sparking Zero stream? I don't know, maybe tomorrow? We'll see. I want to do multiplayer on stream, but I wanted to take a break from Sparking Zero for a day. It was a game that was really frustrating me because of like the campaign and some of the mechanics and then all the issues with the graphics and stuff. So maybe I'll do one tomorrow. I don't know if anyone's going to be around on the server, any of my members who want to play the game with me. Multiplayer, maybe I'll just do like some of the other things you guys suggested first, but I do want to do the multiplayer. I think that'll be more fun for me and everybody else, and we'll have to see. Yeah, that was a weird thing, Golden Scatter. I mentioned that about Boo being wished to be a good guy. I don't know if that was a weird translation or why they messed that up, because they, like I just said before, earlier in the stream, for whatever reason, they seemed like they went back and read the manga, and they got the bad air idea and turned it into the gas inside Boo's body that defuses. So I was like, okay, they're going straight from Toriyama's idea and expanding on it. That works, But then it's like, it's almost like they stopped reading before the last like few chapters, and they forgot that they didn't wish Boo to be good. He was already good at that point, and they wished for people to forget about him being the villain and stuff so that he would live peacefully. But I don't know. It could be a retcon of omission because maybe they used the other wish to make him good. But yeah, I don't know why they said that. That's weird. But there's a lot of things that are contradictory, especially if you want to include Super in this continuity and say that it fits, which I think more and more it's making less sense about that. Not less sense, but it's making more it's stand apart. And so maybe by the end of Daima, if they change and contradict enough things, we're going to have a lot of people saying that Super isn't canon anymore. And maybe my video saying that Dragon Ball Super isn't canon will blow up. It'll be awesome. Either that or people will forget it exists and some other YouTuber who's more popular will make the same video and get all the credit. Who knows? It's happened. But that's why I'm saying maybe it was that Golden Scatter. I don't really know. But all right, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Really appreciate all of it. Hope you all have a great night, great weekend, and everything else in the future. And make sure to stick around because there's a lot more to come in the future.